Robert still being as much as a threat here. They gotta figure something out, or the split game is going to crush them. Both are going to see a little rotate here for the Alawi, but I think not.
Yeah, still looking to press on towards that tier 2, getting a lot of value out of that hole breaker, making that first pick show its worth. And I wonder if later on in this series, no matter how this game turns out, maybe Alawi's going to have to hit the ban table from the side of Unicorn. But for the moment, we'll have to keep our eyes on this game, see if Unicorns can get to that late game scaling point, can get some team fights that they can force. Especially around Baron is where I'm looking for them to be able to force team fights.
Yeah, and with holding out against Ornn for as long as they have been. Oh, the Crow Storm yet again coming down into the mid. We're gonna hold that thought there. A lot of damage there, and very spooky, perfect for the occasion and the holidays today. I think we're gonna go forward here. Saucepaw's gonna take a lot of the CC, and now counter back here with the Solar Flare, but it's gonna be used to retreat back instead.
Yeah, I think that's just fine. A little bit of some trade of CC. That's one cooldown that won't be up immediately, but I think it should be back by the time the next Drake spawns, so not a whole lot of harm in using it there. But now for Crusaders, they need to maybe play a little bit more respectfully. They're going pretty deep into the enemy jungle, and there's a lot of CC that can set up these picks if Unicorns can find it.
Yeah, I think that's what they need to continue to keep doing. Not play into the Crusaders' hands. Where to 5v5. Speaking of, though, Viger Feed's gonna land. Killer Instinct as well, but the Golden coming in from Persia, but Ornn on the back as well, gonna hold them out. But the bullet time from downtown is gonna make it a clean 2-for-0. Crow Storm moving forward, but I think that's gonna be the Baron call there.
Yeah, Victoris getting a pretty great zone use off in that fight. That Vision ward is going to alert the entirety of Unicorns that is being taken, but Vagar Feed not available for this one. We'll see if we end up getting a 1v1 here in the bot lane.
For the bot here, bringing down the total destruction. That's going to be 3-for-0 plus the Baron call there. It was looking a little scary, but with that, that's going to be a 10k lead as well.
Yeah, good stuff from Bobber coming out once again. And now with 5-man Baron, we'll see if this is going to be a potential window for Crusaders to try to end the game.
I think this is going to be the best time to close this out. And if it's not closed out, it may start to get a little hairy. But I mean, a 10k lead is a huge lead. So they're going to need something. They're going to need to get that beautiful wombo going over for the Unicorns to really get themselves going. Pillars needs to find the lockdown either on Wolven or Lindblum. But there's a lot going on. You better hope that Bobber is not in the area.
Well, first it's going to be this Infernal Drake taken down. Should be no problem. I don't think there's going to be any contest. The next one surely will require a contest, though, from Unicorns, as it will be the Soul. So, given one more 5-minute period to scale up a little bit more, Ornn items starting to come through, and we'll see if that's going to be enough. As the next fight may be the last of the game.
I think it was a great call here. Oh, speaking of a great call here, there's a nice pick here. 2 ults going to be used. Limboom, bobbing and weaving, plus the golden hourglass. But I think it's going to be Beccarita coming in yet again. Crow Storm, plus the steal coming back. S-Pillars is going to be the one that's going to fall for it. And it was looking so great. Unicorns, but that may be some of the permanent damage that I wanted to see a little earlier to be closing this one out. Bobber being able to just rip away souls left and right, just making more tentacles. And honestly, I don't think there's an answer for this one yet. Walking right through the base tower like it's nothing, dropping down the ult, forcing them back, 2 of them trying to keep the kite going, but Bagel is huge. Bagel is strong, but Versia finally finds it. I think this is going to be the counterattack that they need. as Leona it went to try to help them out, but that's going to be 2 for 0. But the base is, or Crusaders is knocking on the base, so I think it's a completely fine pickup from here.
Yeah, good job by Unicorns to at least get the base defense out and get some legs under themselves for the time being. They are now over 10,000 gold behind, but they do make sure that all of their inhibitors stay up for the time being to get the shutdown off of Bobbert. If there was a shutdown, I mean, it was only a 1-1 Alawi, so it's possible that there wasn't another shutdown just yet. But getting so much value out of that, getting that kill is gonna at least feel good on a plane of I forget the word, morale. That's the one.
Speaking of morale, you gotta keep your head up and hopefully, and look on the bright side. The game's not fully over yet. You guys still have a strong team, ult lockdown between Feathers, Viger, and Pillars. So hopefully a pick doesn't happen within the next 3 minutes. Hopefully they could be able to bunker down and actually still have a chance to try to make something out. I really gotta touch on, even as behind as they are, check out the vision. It is pretty strong over for the side of the Unicorns as well.
Yeah, they're at least getting vision into their own jungle. They're gonna have 1 ward less here, maybe 2, as the Lindblom gonna be able to clear some of that out leading up to the Drake. But there's 2 minutes left for them to put up some more vision before that Drake spawns. It's pretty scary to walk in there now though, because they have to deal with the worry of Fiddlesticks popping up and stealing their lunch pail. I think that they're going to be playing a little bit under these towers for the next little while until they are forced to come onto the map.
And that's always the downside there. When it's Dragon or Soul Point, you feel very forced there. And I think Infernal Soul, being Infernal Soul, was nothing but perfect there. Becky Rita's Crowstorm there, on the other hand, not so much. I think they'll be able to get away just fine. Looking over onto the top side there, Drew Bagel will get forced there. The Curse of the Sad Mummy will be used, but he's got a soul, and the ult is doubling, and the tentacles are rocked. The team's going to be able to come in and help them out as well. Unfortunately, Becky Rita does not have the Crowstorm. Got the flash taken out, and a hostile takeover used there, while looking down on Lindblom, taking the first inhibitor and looking towards mid as well.
Yeah, I don't really get the use of the hostile takeover there. Now it's not going to be up for the Dragon. It wasn't in a choke point, and there was nothing locking Crusaders into it, so they can just all dodge it. But Bobbert just a little bit too strong right now. 4v1, and it goes in favor of the one, picking up a kill on the Vagar feed and taking that inhibitor down. Now going towards Baron, it looks like it's the call here for the side of Crusaders. That one coming up in 13 seconds, and maybe they're just resetting instead.
Baron is going to be the first one up, but only not too long around. And I mean, honestly, if there's no vision on it, which there isn't, they will be forced to split and check. And as you can see, you see Amenki going over to the top, while Viger goes towards Dragon to mid as well. And again, Bobbert just pushing menacingly on the top side, so they can't even really full 5 and really get their team attack going as well as they want to.
We'll see if Pillars can clear this wave. It's got a super minion in it.
Horn is going to be stolen here. Objective bounty will be claimed, plus the Dragon Soul will be held back. But Viper feed is going to get picked up. Crowstorm coming over onto the backline. Lindblom just going and taking over. Hostile takeover does not matter. Looking over at Bobbert in base, getting the 2v2, no problem. Grabbing the soul and dunking on the entire team. Where is the Dunkmaster Alawi skin? My gosh. Lockdown going on in. Fear going to force Pillars back. And I think that is going to be game 1 lockdown over for the Crusaders.
What a crazy performance from Bobbert, able to set up the game able to get so much value out of that Alawi first pick, and that really throws a wrench into all of our expectations for this series.
Yes, welcome back to the analyst desk, everybody. After an explosive top lane game, Huey, Tiger, Bobbert may be a sub, but that was his rift. Like, everybody else was just visiting him. He dominated that through
Bobbert's
and
a
through.
sub?
That's the
Put
sub.
him on! What are you doing? Oh, man! Wow. Beautiful work, man, dude.
Yeah, Alawi, I mean, Tiger, you said it. They have to ban Alawi now, right?
Oh.
Like, what answers that champion?
I don't think there was a lot of anti-heal picked up. Very late on the anti-heal and very late on the Ornn pickup. The items were starting to come, but by the time the Mythic Plus items were coming, it was too late. They already were knocking on your door. So something needs to be answered there for the Alawi. And honestly, if a soul is picked up, do not fight the Alawi.
Yeah.
Don't fight her, man. Just don't do it.
I mean,
But honestly, you could just take her off the ban board as well, and then you don't even have to deal with it. But then what comes of something else from Bobbert if that's not the only threat that they have on the top side?
Yeah, they probably have more. So I mean, that was also Gurf has kindly taken a screenshot of the post game screen. That was 32,500 damage.
Woo!
From just the Alawi. Nobody else on their team broke 20,000.
That is 3 people combined.
Yeah.
From
So
Unicorn.
yeah. So Tiger, I will say kudos to Feathers and Fur for not dying a single time in the top lane. That said, would maybe have a commitment to a death to protect the tower have been helpful.
I don't know what you can really do there. I mean, maybe you gotta have a better knowledge of the matchup, maybe trade a little better, but at the end of the day, if you're just giving up that big of a CS discrepancy, then it's just really hard to do anything. I don't think that there was a point that I saw where dying could have saved the tower. I think that it was just that the right times Becky Rita came in to put pressure on that lane, and then there was just nothing Feathers and Fur could do. And maybe a jungle gank to help cover would have helped, but at the end of the day, Alawi's just a problem to deal with.
Yeah, well, we'll have to see if that is a problem that even can be dealt with, or if it will just get taken off of the board. We will take a very brief break before we come back to the desk before game number 2. Don't go anywhere.
Route without any wards. That was just Spidey senses there. But with that information granted, bot lane is going to take the dive here. Wolven Alchemist lane here. 1 plate left for the top. Q's finally found with the R. Beautiful matchup with Persia as well. It's going to be 2 for 0 here. If Saucewells is able to get away with the Eclipse flashback. Big. Oh, it's going to start here. Oh, there it is. Malzahar is going to connect. What? Grunty with the counter jumble yet again. Viger feed very low. Linblue.
Bobbert.
Oh, Prostorm checking down onto the bot lane. Plus the Blix here. The flash ult here is going to catch Becky Rita here. Pillars will be able to pick up the kill as well. Looking to add on more to it. And speaking of, though, Viger feed's going to land. Killer Instinct as well. But the Golden coming in from Virgia. But Ornn on the back as well. Going to hold them out. But the bullet dodge from downtown is going to make it a clean 2. I think it was a great call here. Oh, speaking of a great call here, this is a nice pick here. 2 ults going to be used. Limbo, bobbing and weaving, plus the golden hourglass. But I think it's going to be Beccarita coming in yet again. Prostorm plus the steal coming back. S Pillars is going to be the one that's going to fall for it. And it was this one out. Bobbert being able to just rip away souls left and right, just making more tentacles. And honestly, I don't think there's an answer for this one yet. Walking right through the base tower like it's nothing, dropping down the ult, forcing them back, 2 of them trying to keep the kite going, but Bagel is huge. Bagel is strong, but Furzia finally finds it. I think this is going to be the counterattack that they need, as the Uju Bagel will get forced there. The Curse of the Sad Mummy will be used, but he's got a soul, and the ult is... We'll see
See if Killers can clear this wave. It's got a super minion in it.
Horn is going to be stolen here. Objective bounty will be claimed, plus the dragon soul will be held back. But Micro Feed is going to get picked up. Storm coming over onto the backline. Limbo just going and taking over. Hostile takeover does not matter. Looking over at Bobber in base. Getting to 2v2, no problem. Grabbing the soul and dunking on the entire team. Where is Route without any wards? That was just Spidey senses there. But with that information granted, bot lane is going to take the dive here. Wolven Alchemist lane here. One plate left at the top. Q's finally found with the R. Beautiful matchup with Persia as well. It's going to be 2 for 0 here. If Saucepulse is able to get away with the Eclipse flashback. Big, it's going to start here. Oh, there it is. Malzahar is going to connect. What? Grunty with the counter jumble yet again. Fire feed very low. Limp. Oh, Crowstorm checking down onto the bot lane. Plus the Bullets here. The flash ult here is going to catch Becky Rita here. Killers will be able to kill as well. Looking to add on more to it. And speaking of the Viper Feed gonna land. Killer Instinct as well. But the Golden coming in from Virgia. But Orn on the back is well going to hold them out. But the bullet time from downtown is going to make it a clean. I think it was a great call here. Oh, speaking of a great call here, this is a nice pick here. 2 ults going to be used. Limbo, bobbing and weaving, plus the golden hourglass. But I think it's going to be Beccarita coming in yet again. Crowstorm, plus the steal coming back. S Killers is going to be the one that's going to fall for it. And it was this one out. Bobber being able to just rip away souls left and right, just making more tentacles. And honestly, I don't think there's an answer for this one yet. Walking right through the base tower like it's nothing, dropping down the hole, forcing them back, 2 of them trying to keep the kite going. But Bagel is huge. Bagel is strong, but Virgia finally finds it. I think this is going to be the counterattack that they need, as Bagel will get forced there. The burst of the side of money will be used, but he's got a soul, and the ult is...
Killers can clear this wave. He's got a super minion in it.
Horn is going to be stolen here. Objective bounty will be claimed, plus the dragon soul will be held back. But Micro Feed is going to get picked up. Storm coming over onto the backline. Limbo just going and taking over. Hostile takeover does not matter. Looking over at Bobber in base. Getting the 2v2, no problem. Grabbing the soul and dunking on the entire team. Where is Route without any wards? That was just Spidey senses there. But with that information granted, bot lane is going to take the dive here. Wolven Alchemist in here. One plate left at the top. Q's finally found with the R. Beautiful matchup with Persia as well. It's going to be 2 for 0 here. If Saucepulse is able to get away with the Eclipse flashback. It's going to start here. Oh, there it is. Malzahar is going to connect. What? Grunty with the counter jumble yet again. Fire feed very low. Limp. Oh, Crowstorm checking down onto the bot lane. Plus the Bullets here. The flash ult here is going to catch Becky Rita here. Killers will be able to pick the kill as well. Looking to add on more to it. And speaking of the Viper Feed, gonna land. Killer Instinct as well. But the Golden coming in from Virgia. But Orn on the back is well going to hold them out. But the bullet time from downtown is going to make it a clean 2. I think it
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Analyst Desk. Teams in the lobby for game number 2 for Crusaders versus Unicorns. Unicorns dropped the first game. Not really dropped. Again, Crusaders just kind of slapped them around. Both it was mostly the tentacles doing the slapping, but that was brutal. And so coming to the second game, Unicorns have decided they were originally on red side. They're coming now on to the blue side. So Huey, how do we feel about this? Feathers and Fur, this was Alawi was definitely a bit of a takeaway pick, one of their most played champions. Do we think that this maybe is all of a sudden Alawi priority? Do Crusaders now have to ban it with Unicorns having the opportunity to first pick it?
I don't know if they pick up Alawi. Do you ban Alawi? What becomes the answer now? Because if you're so worried about one way and something else now reads out its ugly head, what else do they have back planned for it? Because obviously, Crusaders are going to see that Alawi may be getting taken away here. There has to be something else. I don't think that that's just it. And
Right.
honestly, what about the fiddle?
Right.
What about mid lane as well? Do you just let Linden Blue do his thing there? I think there's a lot more plans that Crusader has in store for us.
Right.
So I don't know if you just waste it on what you just seen,
Hmm.
or do you take the risk and see what else they have?
Maybe. I mean, that you could always take the chance, roll the dice, but I think also, Tiger, for the side of unicorns, the bot lane didn't quite go as expected with that Kaisa pick.
Mm-hmm.
First Blood actually went over to Wolven Alchemist, going 2-1 in that initial exchange with 3 kills in the bottom side of the map. So, do we maybe want Verge on something else other than the Kaisa? We saw that the Caitlyn and the Jinx were banned away. Is like Aphelios, is there some other AD carry that we would like to see to maybe tear through a lot of these tankier, bigger, meatier frontliners that Crusaders have been throughout in the first game?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think Versia played bad at all on the Kaisa. I
Right.
might have liked to see an LDR second instead of Phantom Dancer, but I think that the performance level was pretty decent. That said, you can always change it up, and if they're going to be up against something that's menacing out of the top lane that's impossible to kill like the Alawi, or if it's something like a Dr. Mundo or an Aatrox or stuff like that, no matter what it is, then you can definitely find more effective picks into that than the Kaisa. Things that come to mind are like the Kog'Maw, the Twitch. Uh, like you said, the Aphelios is definitely a very strong late game option as well if you can get the red white guns, especially.
Hmm.
But it'll be interesting to see how much that they want to change up the draft because I think that while they had a lot of struggle against Bobbert in the late game, they had a draft that isn't inherently bad.
Right. Also, I'm not. I think I don't know what Gurf is doing. He is approaching his cam very close, but I'm not seeing the Gurf cam appear anywhere. There is a Gurf cam somewhere, but I don't know where it is, so I can't tell if he's just trolling me. Okay, there he is. Yes, say hello to Gurf. Say hello to Gurf down there. He is making a guest appearance today. So our wonderful producer doing his wonderful work in the back on this Halloween. But that being said, Huey, Tiger, teams are already ready. We can see Gurf is hyped up as well. We got game number 2 on our hands. Let's go ahead, take it away to the draft.
Are ready to go to Unicorns with the first round here. Let's see where they're going to go, and I think we are starting now here. 25 on the clock already.
Yeah, so we'll see what their strategy is. I think that we talked about them potentially picking the Alawi, but potentially they could have other strategies that they set up going into the day that they want to play towards that Alawi isn't a part of. And if that's the case, then I definitely think there's no shame in banning away that Alawi. So that's something that we'll have to keep an eye out for. But
Ooh.
priority definitely rising.
And keeping it just about the same as of right now, Sarah and Caitlyn going to be taken off the board there for the first round. Unicorn back to Unicorn here. It looks like they're still keeping towards that bot lane momentum potential there. I'm not sure if it's the right call, but ooh, gonna take the MF there actually instead for Wolven there.
Yeah, MF definitely a champ with a lot of priority throughout this VAD split. Definitely a champion that I don't have any surprise to see banned. And it looks like they're going with bans that were played in last game, but not the Alawi. So it will be interesting to see if that's going to be a first pick now for Unicorns.
And with that last ban, gonna be targeting Becky in the jungle there. Fiddle's gonna be taken away. Crusaders taking a little bit here for their last ban. And they're gonna out ban Alawi themselves, so they don't even have to worry about the first pick being Alawi.
Yeah, paying the respect there. I guess that when you see how last game played out and you see that the Alawi isn't banned, then the assumption is that Unicorns might want to play it. So it makes a lot of sense to ban it, but it could also have been a bluff. You have to wonder if Unicorns are just playing the big brain outplay game here But returning to that Amumu in the jungle, so we'll see if that's going. Well, I mean, it could be flex to support now. We'll have to keep our eyes on this draft.
Dealing Kais here. My gosh, here. I am really surprised how it is with the targeting or with the focus being top lane for the first game. Now the bot lane getting the attention round 1 in picks and bans.
Yep, picking up the Maokai with a lot of flexibility still in that champ. I think that the jungle would be the place where I expect it most, especially seeing that Alawi was the pickup last game for Bobbert, and potentially we would expect them to play towards that strength that they showed in the top lane matchup in game number 1. But definitely still a flexible champ. And locking in the Kaisa is a lot different look than picking the Misfortune like they did in game number 1.
And look at that. It's the top call answer. God locked in. Is that going to be the feather answer here for the top lane game 2?
Yeah, we'll have to see what the top lane champion ends up being for Crusaders. I think the Sivir pick ends up being a pretty decent matchup into the Kaisa. Definitely a little less mobile, but still good into the late stages of the game. So I think that Unicorn's still trying to play around that theme of going for team fights and getting around objectives, but we'll have to see if they can come out with more success this time around than they had in game number 1.
I think, hear me out on this one, I think we see jungle, ADC, and top picked here. Round 2 is going to be a huge support takeaway as we see Lulu and Nautilus taken. What do you want to see for the mid lane?
Well, one thing that we discussed before this series is with Lindblom normally being a top laner, we might see some traditional top lane champs in the mid lane. That Gangplank definitely looking like a champion that could be flexed towards that mid lane. So we'll see if they hold on to that as a flex. I expect them to R4 support. And it'll be interesting to see how Unicorns want to respond. If they're going to pick a mid laner that would be good into the Gangplank, if they're going to assume that Gangplank is a good matchup into Urgot and just pick a blind mid laner that's going to complement their team. They kind of have to go AP no matter what it is, but they could go with different styles depending on what they're feeling that they're going to be up against.
I think AP is the way to go as well, and Crusaders looking to, if it is not broke, don't fix it, but we're gonna hook it up and tune it just a little bit, tweak it up just a bit with Kaisa, to be able to follow up with the engage coming from Leona as well. I think I'm really enjoying Crusaders pick over here already. With Unicorn there, with their pick, you see the support. I think they should match it. And I think that's going to be the brand going over into the bot lane.
Well, I really have to see this last pick because Brand is also a champion that could potentially be a mid laner. So we'll have to wait and see on that. But with the Leona, there's a lot of dive theme here in the Crusaders comp. What I would really love to see is for them to flex the Gangplank to mid lane, flex the Maokai to top lane, and lock in a Nocturne jungle. I think that would be absolutely insane. The Veigar lock-in does send that Brand to support, and that's a lot more damage coming out this game than we saw last from Unicorns. They've got 4 major sources of damage to just like 1.5 last game. Malzahar kind of up there, Kaisa for sure, but everyone else was tank. And now we'll have to see if that's going to make the game look a little bit different.
It is a big, I wouldn't say, well, it's a big difference here, but it's still a huge team fight team. Now having to focus and really take everyone out in terms of damage. A lot of AP coming in as well, going off the passive of a Mumu. I really am liking Unicorn's team, but I am enjoying Crusaders a lot more. Maokai being the front line with Leona, with the both lockdown knockback between the both of them. That's going to be very huge a repositioning from Kaisa Killer Instinct, Gangplank able to Cannon Barrage and pretty much join the team fight while splitting. Adding the scaling with Syndra to almost match Fire. I think Crusaders came out pretty well this champ select.
Yeah, I do like that the Veigar kind of counters some of the dive that Crusaders bring, so I think that made a lot of sense here. The brand is definitely the most interesting pick to me out of this draft, and I think that picking a brand alongside of Sivir kind of has a clash of styles within the lane, but they may have an opportunity to get push in both of their side lanes, and if they can get that push, I wonder if they can look towards some more early objectives. We know that unicorns love to play around team fights, so what I really want to see from them is to get more early priority around especially the dragons, so that in those later stages of the game they can force team fights on their terms.
Yeah, honestly, team fights were looking a lot more unicorns game plan, and it still kind of does. But with them not being as tanky or having as much as a front line, they need to be extremely careful here getting into those engages. And it honestly feels like almost everybody can fight at almost any time. The early game seems very explosive for them through the mid game, and you have the late game AP power coming from both sides. So it's honestly going to be a huge toss up.
Yeah, we definitely saw a lot of fighting, especially around the bot lane in game number 1. I think that there's a lot of potential for that once again in game number 2. The setup of the Amumu is nice to allow the follow through. There's a lot of damage that comes out if you just land a full rotation of spells from this Unicorn's bot lane. But on the other side, there's some potential for Sauce Boss to roam. Definitely looked good on the Leona last game. And teaming up with Maokai definitely is a pretty menacing threat. I think that they're going to want to focus around the mid lane in the early stages of this game. But they definitely showed a lot of support around the bottom side of the map last time around. So maybe they're going to want to replicate that.
I think so too. With this Sivir protection with the spell shield, it should help them out kind of survive a little more. Like you said, I think the brand is a very interesting pick, and I'm excited to see where it goes. But do you think you're going to be changing your prediction on this one?
Well, I make sure that I never change my predictions for a whole series, but I will say that for game number 2, I think that Crusaders are looking like they're going to be in a pretty strong spot. I'm a big fan of the Gangplank pick here. Bobbert played really well in game number 1, and I think that Crusaders should be pretty happy with where they're at. Unicorns definitely don't have a bad draft either, but it's got some clashing themes in it. The brand is really throwing me off. I haven't seen a whole lot of brand in competitive play since the days of Licrit and Albus Nox Luna. But I think that picking up that brand shows that unicorns do have some different thoughts about what they want to do going into this series. They aren't stuck on one thing that's going to make them lose over and over again.
Well, maybe that uniqueness will help. And as we load into the Rift, don't forget to use your channel points to predict who will win Game 2. See if you guys match up with ours. And with that, we will be right back. Don't touch that dial. Game 2 on the way. Victoris.
Okay.
GG, we are back. Game 2 is on the way. Oh, and yes, I cannot wait to see where it goes from here.
Yeah, Huey, we did get the Vagar this game, so maybe Vagar or Feed was just waiting for the Vagar to not feed. Let's see if that ends up being the play. We have my favorite item in the game purchased already by Versia. I am a big fan of Cull. Just gives you
No.
350 gold. What's not to like, right?
Okay, let's be real quick. Cole or nah?
Everyone, tell us in the chat whether it's Cull or not.
Let us know what you guys think.
Yes.
And honestly,
Cole.
with me, I despise this item. You fall back, bro. It is so useless. If you don't know how to CS, it is useless. I don't like it. Get ahead though. You get it within about 20 minutes. You do get the extra. I get it, but I don't know. Call me. I guess call. That's the old league in me. I don't like it, man. It's not
Are you telling us that you don't like Cull, or are you telling us that you can't CS? What is it?
Both. Both. That's why I am a support main. That is why I am a support main. But seeing my top laners get bodied with it, or if they're O2 and you still have like 50 in there, come on, man. Come on, man.
All right, fair enough. Fair enough. You hate to see people dying with Cull and not getting its activation until like 20 minutes and after they buy it.
If it's
so-
after 20, man, it is a waste, honestly. I believe it. I've never done the math. And this is coming from my friend who is a huge Urgot fan. Big shout outs to Ghost. But he runs it, and we have this fight in Discord almost all the time. So.
Well, anyways, other than Cull, there's not a whole lot of interesting stuff
the
going
early
on.
two, the bot. I don't think
Yeah.
they're going to be able to get much, though, from it. And looking over onto the CS, it's a lot more even than it was game 1. The lane dominance was insane across all lanes, man.
Yeah, pretty early on, just got the first few waves in now, but the top lane is definitely looking especially different. Feathers and Fur off to a good start pushing this lane in, and like I was expecting, the top and bot are pushing in favor of Unicorn, so we'll have to see if they can use this pressure to get anything. Got a little bit longer before the first Drake spawns. It's going to be a Cloud. But I think that they definitely should be looking towards this because Becky Rita playing the Maokai isn't going to be very strong at contesting it. They're up against a Kaisa who won't have been scaled yet. 5-minute Drake, that's the play that I want to see.
It's a pretty decent call. With all the pressure being pushed up, though, that does make the gank a lot easier for Maokai. Limboom going to get a little bit of the scatter the weak there. Viker going to be able to match the gate there, plus the electrocute passive. I think that is a win, a one trade there. Lindblom off cooldowns. Viker right in that river, I should say, or feed actually, to not confuse you guys. Or feed on the top side of mid river is going to head back towards their blue. I thought the gank was incoming, but I also like this, I guess, more passive approach game 2 from both sides.
Yeah, I think that we're going to have a little bit less action on the back end. Even though there's more threat, the fact that the threat is there is kind of discouraging any all-ins from coming out because they know that all-ins can get into trouble really fast. And the junglers are deciding to clear out their jungles instead of go for ganks this time around, and that's kind of slowing the pace down. Although we may see a gank here towards the top lane.
I think it's going to be a race for 6. Nature's Grasp plus Curse of the Sad Mummy are very team swinging. Uh-oh. A lot of damage over into the bot lane. But those ults really matter in team fights. So getting one before the other can really maybe set the pace or tip the scales in your favor if you guys start to fall behind.
We're about to get to 5 minutes. Where's Vagar feed going? Is it to the Drake?
Caught on 2 wards though. I think he may be watching and hearing out the cast calls here. Is going to secure the Rift Herald. But coming over themselves is Becky Rita. Is this gonna be a wraparound gank?
Well, at least getting the Scuttle Crab with the priority is better than nothing, I suppose, but not anything left to find here for Vagar Feed. Just gonna go back about the business of looking for a gank, it seems.
Looked like he was gonna dance around River just a little bit. Looking over at the Vision, they have control all over bot River. With Becky Rita near their wolves, though, I guess they were a little afraid to pull the trigger there.
Yeah. So we'll have to see if there's going to be any other places where there can be action, but well, looking at this cold start bot lane, Versia now up about 10 CS, so that's working out pretty well so far. Not going to be too big of discrepancies anywhere else. The Bloom a bit ahead in the mid lane, but other than that, we're just pretty much dead even about 6 minutes into this game. No one's made an attempt on the Drake yet, and we're just kind of chilling out.
So with both teams scaling later into the game, which team benefits more with this pause action here?
It's kind of close. I mean, I think that both of these bot lanes are okay with it. The mid lane, definitely Pillars is going to feel better, but Bobbert wants to get to the late game as well. So I think that there's a level of evenness to it. I think Crusaders probably have the better team comp for the late game, but there's still plenty of time to look for stuff in this early to mid game.
I guess that it's going to be not too much longer before we get some bloodshed taken out. All three, both bot laners and the jungler, in the bot lane there. I think we're gonna get the first recall over from Wolven and OG. Versia is gonna push that forward and get themselves back as well to match back the Noon Quivers.
See in the Twitch results of the poll that the chat is convinced that Nah is better than Cull, so I guess
Yes.
that Twitch chat is on your side
Thank
this time
you.
around.
I appreciate that a lot, chat. Thank you. Yeah, man, forget Cole, dude. I'm a big fan of Corrupting Potion, man. I'm a huge fan of Corrupting Potion, so I guess that really shows the top. That shows the top and the support in me there.
Yeah, I'm also a support main. Longtime Tiger fans will know that I'm a Lux
Let's
one
go.
trick.
Let's go. You love to see it.
Oh, also, I've just
Nice
noticed.
little
Oh no!
Nice little steal.
Oh, wait,
Nice little
Look at
steal.
this. This is just so vintage. We have Christmas Maokai and is stealing away things from the Halloween Amumu.
Snatch it.
Halloween
I
keeps
love
getting
it.
robbed by Christmas. This can't keep happening.
I mean, it's true. It keeps it real. I love it, man. I love it. Oh, looking forward though, Feathers and Fur doing a great job, matching with Bobbert there. Is not going to be as a scary threat as last, but check out Limbloom mid.
Yeah, pretty successful so far. Already got that lost chapter complete. Gonna be up about 20 CS after this wave is caught, so that's a pretty decent early advantage. And that's really the only advantage on the map. Maybe going to be a slight gold lead as well for Bobbert. Going to just be printing gold because that's what Gangplank does. But other than that, I mean, no one's going for dragons. I was hoping unicorns were going to use their priority. This is why you get brand. You want to have that early push in the lane. You want to have that threat, the poke getting down. And they have had the push. They just haven't done anything with it.
Yeah, and a Vision was more towards their side. After a quick sweep yet again, it kind of falls back to them. We may see some of that action that we've been waiting for here, with Amumu rotating over into that bot bush. Advanced twisted line is there. They don't know Viker's there, but he flashes forward into a roof. Oh no, that is upsetting there, guys. But he still has Curse of the Sad Mummy. Limbloom gonna push forward, knowing with the information there. This Pillars dropping it in and going forward, and the first one's gonna go mid-side over the Pillars.
All Pillars picking up the first blood in the solo kill. I was hoping we would get action in the bot lane. After the play didn't work out, I was going to say, F's in the chat, everyone. Now we're not going to get any action for another 10 minutes. But then immediately Pillars is able to pick up the solo kill in the mid lane. what a play there to get the
Good.
advantage early on, and the Vagar pick looking pretty solid.
Yeah, for sure there. With the CS disadvantage there, that kill's definitely going to balance out just a bit there. Bulbert with Essence Reaver already. I want to see if this is going to kind of shift into shifty lane there a bit towards their favor with the full item completed.
Yeah, should be a pretty good look. It's going to be Tiamat plus the plated steel caps on the other side, so Feathers and Fur are going to be a little more resistant to that damage, a little bit better at clearing the waves, but in an all-in 1v1, then Bobbert going to get more advantage out of that Essence Reaver, I think, so we'll have to keep our eyes out for that. Also, the Cannon Barrage available now hasn't been used across the map just yet, but that's something to keep in mind as skirmishes start to pop up around the map.
Yeah, looking a little bit more about ults. Pyroclasm able to get people a lot of low if the burst is right. That should be able to help Feathers and Fur be able to land that Fear Beyond Death Drill, and maybe get some picks looking later on. And I gotta say again, I'm really enjoying the vision line here from Unicorn. Really
Yeah,
good
Unicorn.
spot, but with Crusaders having the vision fully on the pit. Uh-oh. Viger getting caught on there, and is going to Spider-Man his side over. Bulbert getting a kill topside with Maokai helping out. So the information is there, and this definitely should fall back over to the side of Unicorns.
Unicorn's gonna finally pick up this first Drake at about 12 minutes. Bit slow to the play on that. Cross map gonna be a Rift Herald going over to Crusaders. But I think that Crusaders are going to feel pretty fine about this play. Getting gold onto Bobbert was what helped them win in the last game. And wait, solo kill?
Picking up again. Saucepill is going to be able to trade over down to the bottom, but that's going to be a 2-for-1.
Wow, what a play there to set something up for Crusaders, get some more gold on the Lindblum. We'll see if this turns into anything.
Yeah, no, we'll take those, definitely. That's what we say over here. Feathers and Fur gonna push forward here. Becky Rita looking very low. Fear Beyond Dress. Here comes the drills. Num, 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 num.
Yeah, put him in the wood chipper. I always hear about... Whenever I hear about an Alistar, it's about turning them into ground... Oh, an all-in bot?
Uh-oh. Looking down bot. They're very close there. Needs one more rocket, maybe able to stop the recall. I think she survives, honestly.
Wow, pretty good job to survive that one. Killer Instinct only going to the short side, so maybe missing out on an opportunity, but not knowing where everyone is on the map, probably the safer play to go to that near side. Just try to finish off the kill that way, but now no summoner spells for Wolf and Alchemist, so we'll see if that gets punished.
That is true. Looking over mid too, gates and walls are being dropped all over the place. Lindblum looking pretty good as of right now. Still has a CS lead, pretty decent CS lead. Becky Rita is visiting the lane and is going to be able to drop the gift of the Heralds. Looking down over to the bot fight though, Sauce Boss getting kicked out here with the flash over the pit is going to be able to get themselves out of there. Feathers and Fur going to be able to match the kill up in the top lane, but Lindblum going to be able to match it as well in the mid. Rotate coming down from bot over to mid. Becky Rita's going to catch out Amaki, and that's going to be another one under Lindblum's belt. Blinked and you would have missed it.
Yeah, we had a very slow start to our game, Huey, but now we are in full swing. The fighting going back and forth now on repeat. Now 5-4 on the kills. Crusaders up about 2k goal. And we'll see if they're going to be able to replicate what we saw in last game where they were able to get ahead early on and then take that advantage, get control of the map, and then start putting the pressure down around the soul.
Yeah, and honestly, with Lindblum being 4-1, that should be a lot easier. Plus, mid tower going to be the first one gone. I think they matched it over to the top side Feathers and Fur really picking up the pace, but honestly, I'm very scared of this Syndra. Already halfway with the shard collections here. I'm not sure what the call is really, or what the answer is here for it. You got to figure something out before she starts deleting. Oh my god, stun gonna land over on the pillars. Gonna be able to drop the gate. Gonna try to chain it up. Electrocute gonna be procced with the Starfall. It's not doing as much damage as it well. And with the with the 3-man rotate bot, with the Cannon Barrage mix, that's going to be a 2 pickup there that is definitely needed both for Wolven and OG. Gangplank able to pick up 1 as well with the ult across the map. Able to match now Feathers and Furs KDA.
Yeah, Crusaders
Speaking
now
of matching, he can't match the walk forward. The Crab God himself cosplaying and really doing some serious damage on the Pirate here. I'm loving all the costumes and keeping the theme for Halloween.
Yeah, shout out to Urgot. Definitely got to be one of my favorite Star Guardians.
Oh, man. Bobbert trying to kind of maybe get a winning trade, but it's definitely just not it there. Bot lane is going to be able to get the tower pushing forward. Sauceboss is going to get picked up there. Full ult not coming out just yet, but there it goes coming from Brand. Wolven Alchemist is trying to keep them off the Sun Goddess herself, but now going to get caught out. A lot of a burn, and that is a pickup from Brand. You got to respect the damage even at 1-3-1.
Yeah, and when you're playing that mage support and you get behind early, it can be a rough road, but getting that kill definitely will help set up the Leandries. And once the Leandries is complete, then Brand is just doing damage on repeat for the entire rest of the game. So Crusaders gonna have to be mindful of that. The way to play around that is to not stand on top of the rest of your teammates. So that is something that you can look towards. But as we saw there, it's easier said than done, and when you've got some minions in the area,
you're gonna have to hold it back there. Advancing twist line is going to go in, but mix it up with the solar flare is gonna be huge. Good turn there with Dragon on the way. Vibrant Feed is on the retreat back, and that was huge over in that small corner with not a lot of vision.
Yep. Fortunately for Unicorns, they were able to pick up the kill on the Becky Rita, but it doesn't look like that's going to dissuade Crusaders from taking this Drake and then even up the count. Vagar Feed not even looking to go in towards this pit. I feel like that's a little bit of a miss. Well, you could definitely try to go in and steal that with the smite, but gonna just avoid dying instead, so that's going to be given over to Crusaders. Now even on the Drakes and up about 3.5k gold, Crusaders in a very strong spot.
I think it was maybe it was. Oh, check it out top side though, able to get the control 6 flex cannon barrage plus the jungle assist there. It's gonna help Bobert get himself back on track with a 20 CS lead and two kills there to make it a killing spree.
Yeah, feeling pretty good about that, and looks like it's going to be the double crit cloaks, and to make sure that these barrels doing a lot of damage. We'll see what that gets all upgraded into. My expectation normally is that it's going to be Prowler's Claw into Infinity Edge plus 2 crit cloaks.
Ooh. Becky Rita walking a little too far out by themselves. Might get picked up. It's going to try to flash Advancing Twisted, but it's not going to be enough. TP coming in for Feathers and Fur too, but I thought the push was going to go in, but I see the rotate from the Unicorns headed towards Herald, and I think that's going to be their prize for getting such a delicious pick.
Yeah, the spooky Yordle combo coming in there, able to lock down that kill onto Becky Rita. This time they're going to be able to pick up the eye. Did someone pick up the eye?
Oh no!
Please tell me
they
someone
need to hurry
picked
up.
The eye.
No, they haven't. I don't think anyone has realized yet. Vigrant Feed is running. Oh, he's on the way. He got it. He got it. Oh my gosh.
Good.
That was insane. We need a replay for it. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
Well, Pillar's now in a very strong spot as well. We talked earlier about Lin Moon being 4-1. Now Pillars is at 4-1 on the Vagar. going to be doing a lot of work here. Going to be a little bit behind on the items, but going towards that death cap second. So once that's complete, it's going to be a ton of magic damage coming out of this mid lane. Going to be doing a lot of work.
Yeah, with the Mumu passive to match, some of that magic damage that the team does gets converted into true damage. Don't forget that, guys. So I like the pick, the heavy AP pick here for their composition. I hopefully, once they group up and start getting into more team fights, you'll start to see that convert into more damage and hopefully turn the fights for them.
Yeah, I'm looking at the items a little bit more. It's the Ebon Shroud for Sauce Boss. Gonna be doing some extra CC setup there. Got a couple of ways that they can put down. Wait, no, it's not extra CC. It's extra damage. I had the wrong item in my head. I was thinking of Anathemas, but it's Ebon Shroud. So extra damage gonna feel really nice here against some of this frontline. Amumu definitely a very tanky champion, as well as the Urgot.
Yeah. And I just want to touch up on the Becky Rita here. Opting for the Imperial Mandate here and looking to seem to go a lot more AP than usual, just full tank Maokai.
Yeah, gonna be a more support focused. I think the second item is gonna be either a Rylai's.
Oh, he's gonna get picked walking over by the bush there. Almost is actually the answer. Half their health gonna be taken away there from the nice combo coming from the brand.
Yep. So that's starting to stack up with the damage. Leandri's complete now for Amiyanki, going to be in a much stronger position on the brand. But now we'll see.
Oh, Cannon Barrage plus Pillars coming in. Limblun on the run, and he's gonna live with 5. Ami is on the prowl as well, but I don't think that they can match with that as well. That was way too close for comfort. Limblun gonna be able to walk away, get the shutdown, and continue their snowball.
Yeah, good collapse there. They were certainly going to get the kill on the Pillars either way, but Limblun getting out makes it that much better for Crusaders. Now they're up going somewhere around 5k. They're going to have another Drake coming up for him, this Mountain Soul this time, so that's going to make them much more difficult to kill if they can pick it up. And Lindblom already has plenty of damage, don't need a lot more of that to keep blowing up these carries.
I gotta say, the Dragon's just falling into the way, or into the favor of Crusaders. Getting Infernal, now getting Mountain Drake Soul for the 1-B. That's a really good call. But at what cost are they going to be getting the second Dragon? Shelly on the prowl here. They're going to get 2, 4, 1. And they are on their way. And they hopefully do not scatter and get caught out here. They're going to have to be careful here on the escape back. Advancing tree line on the way down. And it's just inches away from wrapping up. Now they're going to be running over into the top lane and continue moving forward. Silver Boost is going to go in, and I'm not sure where they're going to go here. I think they were looking for this, their all-life sacrifice, but now it's going to be a fight here. Going to get caught up there first is... There goes the Cannon Barrage there. Huge damage on the back line. Limblun on the back and blowing them up. And I don't know where the run was supposed to be. I guess it was home, but not going to make it there. And now we're starting to see the bleed happen.
Well, we talked going into this series about how the team play between unicorns was what their strength was. But we will see here that they don't seem very decisive whatsoever. Their communications seem to be a little bit split. They're able to dodge out that first Nature's Grasp, but a good path here from the side of Crusaders, able to set that one up. If we get back in, we'll see this, but I can just explain it with my memory replay once again.
Memory replay!
We can see that the engage comes down into Feathers and Fur, and Unicorns are like not quite sure about whether they want to go try to save the Urgot or if they just want to back it back off. and they end up getting into a spot where Lindblom's able to collapse out of that jungle area, able to pull off the one kill with the force of will. And then on the other end of the fight, they're able to lock down Feathers and Fur and get that kill. Vagar feed goes back in with the bandage toss and just gets blown up
Gonna
as
have
well.
to
So
check it there. The dive coming in from the we mentioned huge damage coming in, but Fear Beyond Death plus the mix of brands going to be enough, but the Fear is not going to add in. Becky Reed is able to jump in and pick up Lindblom's Goblet. Taylor's gonna trade the tree though. Viger and Feed gonna try to help out the team, but the cannon barrage is going to come, and the dive is greenlit to go. But tier 2 is just gonna be taken instead, and I don't think there's a way to stop this crazy train right now.
yeah, Bobbert putting down so much damage once again. This time it's the Gangplank. He's got Collector. He's got the Cannon Barrage picking up these kills, and they're going to be able to push for this inhib. They've got the Baron buff as well. They're in perfect position to set themselves up towards ending this game. And we're going to get a replay of this one, hopefully. We'll be able to see at the beginning of this fight that it just starts out with a good Nature's Grasp coming out from Becky Rita. A few things missing first. The engage comes in from Sauce Boss. Verzia is already out of this fight when it begins, able to dodge out the Nature's Grasp, but Feathers and Fur picking up that first kill, not going to change anything about this fight.
Boom! Look at
And
that
the Cannon
damage!
Barrage plus the Barrel Chain is the damage. Not able to lock down Bobbert for long enough. Needed a couple more tower shots to help finish off that kill. But Bobbert just absolutely massive. 4 items now on this Gangplank.
We were a little worried. I was a little worried, I guess. I should speak for myself. I was a little worried and hesitant once Bobbert wasn't super far ahead with the CS. Feathers and Fur really keeping the pace with the Ergon. But now 6, 1, and 4. Insane, man. Almost a 10k lead yet again.
Yeah, you never really have to worry about Gangplank not getting far enough ahead in the early game. Gangplank late game, always going to be crazy, always going to get there pretty decently because he's got the gold printing mechanics on his parlay. And as we can see, that scaling's already happened. Bobbert doing a lot of work, 6, 1, and 4. Got that complete 700 gold shutdown. So we'll see what Unicorns are going to be able to do to set that up.
They're gonna have to figure something here. I think they still have hope in the Viger. They still have hope in the Sivir. So it's not fully over yet, but if they don't keep themselves in check, they will lose this one right underneath their noses.
Yeah, so we'll see if they're going to be able to start to find some picks like we saw them do last game. They're just needing to have a while longer to scale up, get themselves to their item spike, get Versia to the 3rd item. That IE always going to be the big name here on the AD carries. 3rd Drake going over to Crusaders is no surprise here. Their Baron buff has expired, but Unicorns now have 5 minutes before they have Soul coming to knock on their door.
Let alone Soul. They also have 1:40 there for Baron looping around the corner. That'll be the first objective to have to contest. And this is getting scary, guys. Even with Pillars doing as well as they're doing, I don't see the full power coming from this Viger as well. And just looking over at the AP, the AP 750, almost 300 extra. It's just not really coming out just yet, or as well as it needs to be.
Yeah, Pillars has been doing pretty decently in this game for their part, but I mean, Unicorn's just a little bit too far behind right now to set up. Vagar's not very long ranged, so you kind of have to walk up into the enemy team comp to get that damage off. But whenever you walk up in this match, you're going to be going straight into a barrel chain, you're going to be going into a Syndra combo, you're going to be going into a Maokai engage, and all of these things are very scary, especially the Maokai engage since it's able to get past the Vagar cage. It gives you that invulnerability while you're in the advance. So we'll see if that's going to be enough threat to continue to disallow Pillars from doing the damage.
And we're gonna start to get to approach this Baron fight. It's getting a little nerve-wracking here as everyone starts to form up.
6 items.
Frozen Feathers on the bot lane, not actually gonna be there with the Baron as soon spawning. I don't know if they're just gonna completely turn for it as soon as it calls, or maybe force a bait here.
Bobbert just hit 6 items. This is such a big power spike
Oh
in
my
the
gosh.
game for Crusaders. Going
And
to
as soon as,
have
just
that
about as soon as
LBR.
it spawns, Baron in full control here. Bobbert just trying to force back. Tiger, D trying to flash Q. He's gonna get Karen Barrage and call it up. Bobbert on the front line, pushing forward, gonna pick up 2. Nasher is going to be taken away. Pillars losing nearly 2,000 of his health, just gone, almost in the threshold for the Collector's second Baron on Crusader's belt. What needs to happen for the Unicorns to stop this onslaught?
Well, they need to buy enough time for Versia to respawn, but even if that happens, I think this game is in Crusaders' hands. They just need to pull the right strings to be able to finish this game off. I think that they're going into a more conservative 1-3-1 look right now. They're not going straight for the throat, but they have the opportunity to take the rest of these towers. It's up to them to make mistakes if Unicorns are going to get back into this game, but Unicorns are going to have to be very opportunistic from here on out.
And so now, do you start looking forward to game 3, or is there really an out here coming for the Unicorns?
Well, I never recommend for teams to take their eyes off of the current game, but I think that if they understand that from here on out, there's nothing that they can do that will make sure that they win the game, then that will give them a better mental state going into.
And never say die here, as Becky Riga taking a lot more damage than expected. It's gotta be very careful, and it's gotta respect there.
Yeah.
Robert taking out that bottom tower again. 50 seconds on Soul. This is, I feel, going to be the do or die moment. That Mountain Soul is going to make it nigh impossible for Unicorns to get through anybody on Crusader's side.
Yeah, I'm not sure that they can contest it, though. I don't think that they're in good position to win the fights unless they can find a pick.
Oh, is this going to be the pick that it is? Viger Feed moving forward, not going to be able to land a Q. Sauce Boss is going to get picked up by Versia, and I don't know. Are they going to make it back before the Dragon? I don't think so.
They're on the wrong side.
Limboon on the
Robert's
other
gonna end
side.
the
Flash
game.
going in over for Pillars. Feathers and Fur going to try to grab him
Oh,
with the
nice
death
flash.
ball, and it was so close there, but they're not going to get it. But meanwhile, bot side Inhib is going to get picked up there for Bobber, so they do get a little bit, and they're all scattered for this Mountain Soul, and it's going to be started on Becky Rita and Wolven. It's already going to be taken all near the half, going down to about a quarter and a third. Becky Rita with the smite available, they're going to be able to pick up Mountain Soul, and I don't think that was worth it. 13k gold lead.
Yeah, and whether they could have ended or not is a question that we'll never know the answer to, but what Crusaders have done is taken so many opportunities for Unicorns to come back into this game off the table. They've pushed us 6 minutes away from the Elder Drake coming up. They've collected that Mountain Soul for themselves, and now they've got so many threats onto the base that it's going to be very difficult for Unicorns to even come out and challenge their own jungle camps. Even they're going to be pushed in for probably the next 20 minutes of this game if it lasts that long. I don't expect it to, but now SP Pillars in trouble.
Coming out from the push there, the Cannon Barrage and the dance around. Don't touch me, Pirate Guy, taking out Pillars. And that's a big part of the Unicorns' source of damage.
Yeah, and as well, they can stop the waves if they've got the event horizon. Now they've only got one wave
Oh,
clear wave.
speaking of
And
the
now zero.
engage, it's coming in. Huge damage. That's going to be another one drop. Becky Rita is going to find it. Oh, Alchemist is going to join the fight there as well. Killing Spree is going to be locked in, and I think game 2 is coming to a close here.
Yeah, let's just watch Bobbert and see if he one-shots anyone.
Let's see what's going to happen here. Softball into the full dive here. Limblin is legendary. Another one's going to be taken, and that's going to be the game 2 to Crusaders there, guys. Oh my gosh. They needed a pick. They needed a miracle, but unfortunately, they got caught.
Well, Crusaders definitely looking very strong going into game number 3. They're up 2-0, and Unicorn's going to have a lot of thinking to do going ahead in this series about how they're going to get back into it. They've been just so far behind throughout so many. Look at all of those lightning energies on Thunder's shirt.
Welcome back to the analyst desk, everybody. If you can't tell, I've been busy in between segments during games. But so have y'all, because these have been stomps from Crusaders. Coming into this game number 2, you talked about the draft. The draft looked pretty good for Crusaders overall, I think. But I mean, that was just a dominant performance, not only from Bobbert in the top lane, yet again coming in again, sub, mind you, sub. But Lindblom in the mid lane on this Syndra, really showing kind of how, you know, the reworked Syndra it's essentially Veigar 2.0 in every possible way, Huey, because it absolutely outshone the Veigar in the lane.
So now here's the thing. If it wasn't the Alawi, what do you do now? You guys talked about a lot of Unicorn's momentum earlier on in the pre-show. What happens when you lose that momentum here? You guys are now at a stop. What is the next move?
Tiger, I'm sending that straight to you. I'm not an analyst. I voted for Unicorns, yes, but I'm not the smart one here. You tell me, man. What are we looking for? We need something, anything.
Unicorns definitely pulling out a similar feel of their comp to last game. I like the adaptation going towards the Urgot, trying to get more damage sources. But they're still trying to play towards their team fight, which is their bread and butter. They just haven't found a way to get there in these matchups. They've been just pushed off of the map before they can even look for any 5v5s. I think that going into game 3, what I'd like to see from Unicorns to set themselves up for success is to get something that can find a little more identity throughout the early game, especially in the jungle role. To me, I think that they've picked up the Mumu in the first 2 games, and it's been like, it's okay, but not enough to overthrow what's been happening on the other side, what Crusaders have been doing. So I'd like to see a more aggressive jungler, something like a Xin Zhao or maybe a Trundle. I think that those are the type of champions that could maybe shake up this series in a way that Unicorns could maybe start to come back.
Yeah, and not only would they have to come back, they've now lost 5 games in a row to Crusaders. They have not a single one has won. They would now have to win 3 in a row to move on. And again, just Bobbert in this top lane, just 30,500 damage. So 2,000 less than the previous game. I think this game was also like 4 or 5 minutes faster. So that's probably the reason why it wasn't 32,000. But this is an absolutely phenomenal performance on the top side of the map. So before we go to a break, Huey, I do want to say, I want to ask you, do we think Crusaders close this out? I know you predicted that they wouldn't get the clean 3-0. With how they're looking, we know Tiger's not going to change. We know he is sticking to his guns. Do you want to adjust your prediction?
With the 3-1, the way I was predicting it, I thought Unicorns was going to get the game 1 through the momentum that they were having from the previous games. I think we're going to close this one out, honestly, 3-0, man. I don't think, or I don't see Unicorn really having an answer, and with it coming from both top and mid, allowing bot to come and pick it back up as well, it's very scary. Very, very scary stuff. And I hope that we get to see Unicorn figure out the answer this game, because right now it's been a couple do or die situations, but now it is really do or die.
Yeah, scary stuff is fitting for a Halloween evening. We will take a brief break, start getting stuff set up before we come back for Analyst Desk for game number 3. We'll see if Unicorns can make the reverse sweep. It would have to start here, or if Crusaders win it out. Don't go anywhere.
Line is there. They don't know Viger's there, but he flashes forward into a roof. Oh no! That is upsetting there, guys. But he still has Curse of the Sad Mummy. Lindblom gonna push forward, knowing with the information there. His pillars dropping in and going forward, and the first one's gonna go mid-side over the pillars.
Wait,
Lindblom picking up again. Sauce Pill is gonna be able to trade over down to the bottom, but that's gonna be a 2-for-1.
Wow. What a play there to set something up for Crusaders, get some more gold on the Lindblom. We'll see if this turns into anything.
Yeah, no, we'll take those, definitely. That's what we say over here. Feathers and Fur gonna push forward here. Becky Rita looking very low. Fear Beyond Trend. Rita is visiting the lane and gonna be able to into the Heralds. Looking down over to the bot fight, though. Sauce Boss getting kicked out here with the flash over the pit. Is gonna be able to get themselves out of there. Feathers and Fur gonna be able to match the kill up in the top lane, but Lindblom gonna be able to match it as well in the mid. Rotate coming down from bot over to mid. Becky Rita's gonna catch out Amaki, and that's gonna be another one under Lindblom's belt. Flink and you gonna have to hold it back there. Advancing twist line is going to go in, but mix it up with the solo flare is gonna be huge.
Longer position on the branch, but now we'll see.
Ooh, Cannon Barrage plus pillars coming in. Lindblom on the run, and he's gonna live with on the escape back. Advancing tree line on the way down, and it's just inches away from wrapping up. Now they're going to be running over into the top lane and continue moving forward. Silver Boost is going to go in, and I'm not sure where they're going to go here. I think they were looking for the all-life sacrifice, but now it's going to be a fight here. Going to get caught up there first is... There goes the Cannon Barrage there. Huge damage on the back line. Lindblom on the back and blowing them up.
Get that kill. Vagar feed goes back in with the bandage toss and gets blown up.
I have to check it there. The dive coming in. Oh, mentioned. Huge damage coming in. But Fear Beyond Death plus the mix of brands going to be enough. But the fear is not going to add in. Becky Rita is able to jump in and pick up Lindblom's goblet. Taylor's gonna trade the tree though. Viger and Feed gonna try to help out the team, but the Cannon Barrage is going to come and
game for Crusaders.
And it is just about a season spot. Baron in full control here. Auburn just trying to force back. Viger, Feed trying to flash Q. He's gonna get Cannon Barrage and caught up. Bobber on the front line, pushing forward, gonna pick up
20 minutes of this game if it lasts that long. I don't expect it to, but now SP Pillars in trouble.
Coming out from
the waves, if they've got the event horizon, now they've only got one wave.
Speaking of the engage, it's coming in. Huge damage. That's going to be another one drop. Becky Rita is going to find it. Alchemist is going to join the fight there as well. Killing spree is going to be locked in, and I think game 2 is coming to a close here.
Yeah, let's just watch Bobbert and see if he one-shots anyone.
Let's see what's going to happen here. Sauceball takes it into the full dive here. Lindblom is legendary. Another one's going to be taken. And that's gold. Line is there. They don't know Viger's there, but he flashes forward into a roof. Oh, no. That is upsetting there, guys. But he still has Curse of the Sad Mummy. Lindblom gonna push forward, knowing with the information there. His pillars dropping in and going forward, and the first one's gonna go mid-side over the pillars.
Wait,
Lindblom picking up again. Sauce Pill is gonna be able to trade over down to the bottom, but that's gonna be a 2-for-1.
Wow. What a play there to set something up for Crusaders, get some more gold on the Lindblom. We'll see if this turns into anything.
Yeah, no, we'll take those, definitely. That's what we say over here. Feathers and Fur gonna push forward here. Becky Rita looking very low. Fear Beyond Trend. Into the Heralds. Looking down over to the bot fight, though. Sauce Boss getting kicked out here with the flash over to Pit. Is going to be able to get themselves out of there. Feathers and Fur going to be able to match the kill up in the top lane, but Lindblom going to be able to match it as well in the mid. Rotate coming down from bot over to mid. Becky Rita's going to catch out Amaki, and that's going to be another one under Lindblom's belt. Blink and you are going to have to hold it back there. Advancing twist line is going to go in. Mix it up with the solo flare is going to be huge.
Longer position on the branch, but now we'll see.
Ooh, Cannon Barrage plus pillars coming in. Lindblom on the run, and he's going to live with here on the escape back. Advancing tree line on the way down, and it's just inches away from wrapping up. Now they're going to be running over into the top lane and continue.
Welcome back to the analyst desk, everybody, as we are preparing for game number 3 between the Crusaders and the Unicorns. Unicorns have once again selected the blue side, and the Tiger coming into this, we were on the Unicorn hype train, even though they were generally considered underdogs. We had faith in the underdogs. Maybe slightly misplaced faith, because Crusaders have had their number, and I will say, kind of looking at these two games, they've been utilizing Bobbert really well, split pushing a lot, where Unicorn's general strength has been team fighting. So question goes, either how do Unicorns force Crusaders to team fight them, or is there some way that they can try to match this side lane prowess that the Crusaders have been showing?
Well, like I said in game number 2, I was really hoping to see some early Drake stacking. That's in my opinion the number one way to force an enemy team to team fight you, is to stack up, get towards that soul. That objective is the spot where most of the fights throughout games happen. But if they're not going to do that, then I would like to see them draft something that can better match against the split push. I was throwing around ideas like something like an Aatrox, a Fiora would potentially be good in the side lane. But I think that it's been tough to find the right champions out of the pool. I mean, we talked as well about Feathers and Fur. The Alawi, the Urgot, and the Ornn are kind of the champions we expect from Feathers and Fur. So we'll have to see if it's going to be changed up at all from those. If it's not going to be, well, I mean, if it's Alawi, then they can split push as well. But if it's the Urgot or Ornn, then they're going to have to find something, maybe out of the mid lane even, that can match in the side lanes.
Well, I mean, we'll have, like, that's the other thing. It's like, even if they can do that, I'm just sitting here like questioning, because it's just like Crusaders have just been so clean with it. And I think a lot of it, Huey, we talked about it briefly, what is Becky Rita in the jungle being so phenomenal. Not necessarily jungle diffing Veigar or Feed, but definitely having a really good series so far. So I mean, for Crusaders, like, what have been those shining points? Like, if you are Unicorns, like, what do you need to try to really bring down? Is there a point of weakness that you have seen from Crusaders? Because everything's just looked really strong.
Honestly, I've been racking my head a bit. You banned Becky out. You take away as well for top. They still come out on top. It's a threat. It's a huge threat. Lindblom coming in as a sub doesn't have the full synergy coming out on top against pillars here. Wolven Alchemist and Sauce Boss doing what's needed as well, holding it down against a very tough bot lane. In terms of Verzia and Front, it's scary, dude. But they're doing what's needed. They're holding down the bunkers. They're getting aggressive. They're finding their win conditions and keeping to it. I don't know what to do here. I'm actually really not sure. You got to try and figure something out for Bobbert, and you need to maybe figure something out for Becky Rita as well. Maybe go more aggressive than wait for the late game.
Yeah, something to keep an eye on. I will say, the very last game of the regular season, it was a little bit of a troll. I don't know if y'all remember this. It was Unicorns versus Vipers. Unicorns came out on top. One of the picks, I'm not going to go through all of the picks that occurred in that game, because they were interesting, to be polite about it. One of them for Unicorns, Verzia, was Syndra bot lane that went 15-1.
Wow.
So maybe we get some spice. I don't know. But of course, the teams are going to be ready for the drafts. So let's see if we get a Rager or a Slaughter in this game number 3. Huey and Tiger, take this one away.
Money for me, please. I'm all in onto this one. But as we get into game 3, Unicorn on the blue side, Crusaders on red. Where is this first ban gonna be happening?
Well, I think that they've shown consistently that they want to ban out the Seraphine, but they kind of have to stick with some of the similar bans from Game 2, in my opinion. The Misfortune, the Fiddlesticks were definitely strong picks. Looks like they may leave the Seraphine open in favor of banning out another top laner, potentially. Oh, they're banning away their own Amumu instead.
Good call there to take it away from Crusaders' hands, but that leaves the Alawi open there. Kaisa's still open as well. There is a lot of threats there, and I am scared for one. I don't know what they need to do, and I hope they figured it out. Crusaders gonna actually take the Alawi option away there. Unicorn is going to make the set deciding factor of this being game point. They're gonna take the tree away. What is gonna be Crusaders' answer here next?
Pick the Seraphine. It's not banned.
It's open.
Pick it.
Oh
Such
no!
a good champ.
It's open. Was that the trap all along?
Well, I certainly could be amongst the trap, but if they do decide to go towards the Seraphine, have that flexibility. But I definitely like the Seraphine in the support role the most, so that's probably where
There
that's
it
going to go.
is.
I think that putting it alongside of a hyper carry makes a lot of sense, but you can also set something up like a Seraphine Ashe that's pretty strong in the laning phase. So there's a lot of options here for Crusaders. They may just opt to go towards a jungler to match what is presumably going to be a Maokai jungle.
In you banded 2 games. Oh!
Oh my gosh, are we going to get it?
Let's go!
Give it
Lock
to us.
in!
Becky
Lock it
wants
in!
to play the
Lock
Blitzcrank,
it in!
I know.
Let's go! 10
Lock it
seconds
in for
left.
us, please.
This may be the best game ever.
Well,
Going up 5.
we got to wait for the
There
lock-in.
it is!
All right, oh, there we go. Let's go.
Yes, let's go! Becky
All
Rita
right.
with the crank. You banned Seraphine for 2 games. Match point, it's available. What is really the next pick here for Unicorn? It's going to be Lucian here. Or are we gonna see
Nami.
the Nami match? I like
Yeah.
that. That's a strong pick there. What do you think about that pick there?
All right, so first off, let's talk about the Blitzcrank a little bit.
Yeah.
Definitely moving towards that jungle role, going to be stronger on the clear now. Sets up a lot of ganks really well with hooks. And whenever you have a Blitzcrank on your team, you're just one hook away from having a winning pick, a winning setup on a team fight even. And I really like the Blitzcrank as a complement to the Seraphine, because when you pick up the Seraphine, one of the things that's strong against it is the Blitzcrank. When even any enchanter is like this, but especially with the Seraphine giving the shield and having the vulnerability to being hooked, I like picking up the Blitzcrank to take away that opportunity from the other team.
The opportunity being taken away indeed. Looking at these last couple bans here, Urgot and Swain for Crusaders, a strong ADC pick here, the snowball potential here with the Samira Sarah. I'm really enjoying it here. Syndra and Silas going to be taken away for Unicorns. What is going to be their top answer here for or versus the Gangplank?
Well, I mean, with no Urgot, no Alawi available, I'd like to see something that can contest in the early game. I'm not a fan of Renekton, but this definitely feels like a thematic Renekton angle. But I could definitely be something more like a Jax or a Fiora if Feathers and Fur wants to go that route. But we're just gonna default to the Ornn, I suppose. So we'll have to see if Unicorns can utilize their bot lane to get into the mid stages of the game, get to that point where they can go for these team fights that they love so much.
Yeah, I think Feathers and Fur, I think the Ornn pick was a good call. That gives them the late game. Lucy and Nami giving them the early. Makai helping mix in between and transitioning to get there. Now we're going to have to see what their mid pick is, and hopefully it really just blows it all out. But really, I'm not sure where they're gonna go. You do have the Viger available, but you're gonna get the Vlad instead.
Find Vlad here.
Okay.
A little bit of an interesting strategy to take that Vlad blind. Probably going to be pretty decent in any lane situations, but not necessarily the strongest team fighter. More a champion that does want to get towards the solo lanes. Maybe you were just saying that the Vladimir wants to go to the side lanes in the later stage of the game, potentially match up with the Gangplank. But I think that you can get some value in the team fights if you're ahead. So we'll have to see if there's going to be a lot of focus around this mid lane to help Pillars get into a position where the Vladimir can have success.
You say success, but then you see the man that get picked up himself, the Emperor, the King. Azir's gonna be locked in there, and oh man, dude. I am loving Crusade's picks here.
Yeah, they're complementing what they've done well throughout the last game. I'm concerned that maybe the Samira is going to be too much in the sauce. I feel like Samira definitely a champion that's feast or famine. If you can get ahead, then it's definitely going to look really strong. But from behind, Crusaders would have a very difficult battle to fight, especially against such a strong front line in the Ornn Maokai. So if Unicorns can get ahead here, I think that they've got a good shot in this game. But Crusaders picking up some spicy stuff here in this draft.
Yeah, for sure. I do like the Lucian Nami pick here. Taking away the Maokai too. Ornn with the late game. I'm very excited to see how Pillars plays this Vlad. I'm really excited to see that go.
Yep, Vlad matched up into the Azir though, so we'll have to see if Lindblom's actually going to be able to take advantage of the counter pick here. I think that Azir definitely going to be preferable in this matchup. But with some jungle help, maybe it's going to be a good position for Pillars to pick up some solo kills. We saw in the second game that the first matchup that yielded a solo kill, Pillars was able to pick it up. After that, it started going in favor of Lindblom. But Pillars definitely showed that there's some possibility to work in that mid lane. So we'll see if they want to go towards that here in Game 3.
I don't know, and I am really unsure. All I know is that I am very, very excited to see where this game is going to go. Last time, I know you say that it is strong, even with the Blitzcrank hype. You sure you don't want to change over?
I never go back on my allegiances. I said Unicorn's gonna 3-2. I believe in the power
right
of
here.
the reverse sweep. I need Cloud9 Twitter to go tell us no way that Unicorns can come back. Crusaders, congratulations on making it to the finals, but we'll see if Unicorns can find the power within themselves to start their way back towards a Game 5.
Okay, so you said it was the 3-2, right? How does it come in? How does this end out with Unicorns winning?
Well, I think that it starts in the bot lane here. They've drafted a pretty aggressive early game. Samira, definitely a mobile champ, but not a champ that can get out of ganks particularly easily. If Veigar or Feed could find good angles on the way in, then they can definitely start looking to set up some double kills. They will have to track Becky Rita, though, because the Blitzcrank, a rather potent jungler in the early stages of the game.
Oh, man. And I am so excited to see this Becky Rita blitz, man. And honestly, if it falls through and that bot lane does crumble through, and honestly, with the terms of in the terms of Lucian and Nami, that is definitely possible for sure. Versia and Ami being very strong, man, and I don't think they've really had their chance to really shine. And maybe, just maybe, with these picks here, it may be just enough. But as we load into the Rift match point over for the side of Crusaders, Be sure to lock in those channel points where it is just about dead even right now. Be sure to lock in as well as we load in. This may be it. If you're a Unicorn fan, you need to throw out that energy and make sure it is not. Be sure to keep it locked, and we will see you guys soon. We'll be right back.
Darling, I've been tempted by the darkness, telling me that I should throw it all away. Fight so hard, my heart is hardly helpless. Find myself so desperate on my knees to break. And I hear the voice of an angel telling me not to lay it down. And I feel the spirit guiding, telling me not to give up. Hold on to every promise I've been praying for at night. I hold on to every garment, won't surrender, not tonight. The shadow rises, I walk through the valley, but I won't let nothing take my heart away. I recognize the powers as they rally. Golden nails, I break them one by one and face to face. And I hear the voice of an angel telling me not to lay it down. And I feel the spirit guiding, telling me not to give up. Hold on to every promise I've been praying for at night. I hold on to every garment, won't surrender, not tonight. Won't surrender, not tonight. Won't surrender, not tonight. Switch.
We are here, ladies and gentlemen. Game 3 on the way. Is this going to be it? Check out those camera angles as we are getting on our way in.
Yeah, checking out the shopkeeper here. We'll see if he can scam anyone into buying the wrong items this game. Not going to be able to sell off any calls in the first setup here, so that's a little disappointing. I'm trying to give him the advertisements for it, but not gonna work. We can definitely see though that Crusader is gonna be looking to get aggressive here in the early game, already going to exchange for that sweeper on Becky's Blitzcrank. So we'll see if that ends up setting up some ganks.
Hopefully so, because he's definitely going to need it. It's going to be... I'm actually honestly surprised we don't see an invade coming in here. Looking over for the runes and masteries, nothing too crazy. Out of the ballpark. The fleet though on Victoris, I will say, is a little weird to me on that.
Yeah, the lethal tempo probably for the purpose of the clear, I'm assuming, making it go a little faster here. But definitely going to work well. Blitzcrank does have an attack speed steroid, so maybe we're going to see 80 carry Blitzcrank. Who knows?
Maybe so, man. It's like, I'm scared, man, and I'm excited to see how this one really turns out. We're gonna, do you think it's going to be more of an explosive game, or was it gonna be how it was game 2, where it was a slight just try to farm and try to build up before it gets crazy?
Well, I sure hope that it becomes more explosive here. We've got a Blitzcrank in this game. We've got Lucianami.
Oh, Flash gonna be popped there for Sauce Boss. That was looking a little wild there. I think they just took a little more to get to. Nami has been nerfed, but that threat between Lucian and Nami is still one to be respected.
Yep, so we'll have to see if that gets punished. Maokai no slouch at ganking either, so going to have some potential to go towards the bot side here. Starter
Percy
top
going
side
in
as
yet
well.
again. Sauceboss gonna take those 6 attacks with the dash passive, and that's gonna be first blood headed over to Lucian. That's what's needed here, I think. Becky Rita on the top side of mid lane here, looking for that Q. Pillars needs to be careful, does have the pull. Is going to be able to use it and get themselves away. But pull is on about a 25-second cooldown. A quick rotate around may pop the flash next time.
Yeah, so we'll see if that can come through. I think Blitzcrank took about 15 seconds on the cooldown still, if that didn't get changed on the rework. So that's definitely something to keep in mind. But it looks like Becky gonna just go back to clearing here, utilize that lethal tempo to continue to keep up the pace. Picking up that Scuttle Crab feels pretty nice, pushing Vagar feet off of it. Mercy getting aggressive again.
Scuttle Crab too. Feathers and Fur thought it was a 1v1, thought it was an even fight. Becky Rita is here. The flash though, gonna move forward too. Bobber is gonna go, hits the Q with the tick. Not enough, as the pot's gonna keep them alive. Feathers and Fur at 2 HP after that play.
Yeah, a really close escape there. Feathers and Fur getting out alive, though. That's going to help avoid another snowball on this gangplank out of the top lane. But now Vagar feed looking for another gank around mid.
Vagar looking around mid. I'm checking over onto bot side here. A lot of pressure coming from Versia and Nami. And I think even though it is only a slight gold lead, it is falling over to the side of Unicorns. I think it's the first time that they have been in lead.
Yeah, definitely not a huge lead, but it's a start.
That is the first guy. Be careful again. Becky Rita boosting
No
himself
flash.
up. There comes a knock up to the hook. Barrels is going to be dropped, and that's going to be only it, as there's no way to have this continue moving forward. But check out the freeze. Top side has gained now from that second gang. That is all going to be falling over the Bobber.
I think it's going to go under tower, so I think that it actually won't. But across map here, we're seeing Unicorns going to be able to pick up this Drake. That's what I was asking for. Finally, they're going to pick up the first dragon of the game within 6 minutes. and they need to keep up this pace as they're definitely in a situation where once they get to the mid game, they're going to have a lot of threat onto them.
I mean, Ocean will help them out a lot. Thank gosh it's not Ocean Soul. We'll see if Crusaders continue to get lucky to see if Soul is more optimal for their team comp or not.
Yeah, I definitely think that for their team, if they can get a Hex Tech Soul, that would be really big here. Going to be either that, Cloud, or Mountain. But whatever it is, stacking up towards the Soul is the first step in the right direction here towards forcing some team fights, getting able to use this Ornn to its highest potential. And Feathers and Fur once again has been in a spot where it's just weak side for the early stages of this game, still avoiding dying early on. So I gotta give some credit throughout the series there. Maybe they can actually put some ganks towards the top side to help Feathers and Fur keep up this situation where the ganks
Speaking
are
of
coming.
ganks here, getting the pool out first. Lin Boom pushes forward. Becky Rita coming in is gonna get the flash taken away. That's gonna be a 5 minutes. Pillars does not have flash, only gonna be able to use the pool.
Yeah, still pretty elusive out of ganks, but taking the flash away definitely makes it so there are more windows. We'll see if there's going to be any action around these wards. Support contesting wards, it's a tale as old as time. Not going to die for it at the very least, but unfortunate for Sauce Boss not to be able to pick up that control ward kill.
Those are always the true battles in the bot lane. Becky Rita on their way with the ping. Ami's gonna move forward. He's gonna have to flash the bubble with the reverse pool, almost taking them away with them. Very scary stuff. Coming with the counter gank is Viger over in the near his golems. I think that's just gonna be a pool reset.
Yeah, gonna be alright for now. But the gold has evened itself back up. I think that a lot of that's coming out of the first strike and the parlays for Bobbert. But going to be...
Mercia pushing forward here as it takes first. Double up is going to hit. Not going to be able to fully body block to dodge the bubble. Is going to take a little bit of the end of the polling there. Very scary stuff. Pushing their advantage as much as possible. With the kill and the 4 CS lead expected to get wider. Bot lane, I think, is going to be the answer here if they can find a little more support to help them move this lead.
Yeah, so we'll see if that's going to be the avenue they take. Versia definitely playing this Lucian out pretty well, understanding the trading patterns. We'll see if there's going to be any contest around this Rift Herald. Both of these junglers right
Speaking
here.
of the contest, Battle of the Titans here. Becky Rita just going in for the punches. Viger out, winning and setting the pace. The Ornn Horn has been called. Becky Rita in trouble. Pillars coming around from his way of escape. And a bada boom, bada bing. That's going to be a nice pick, but no trade there of the Herald. I think that's a little weird, no?
Yeah, I mean, they probably would like to pick up the Herald here, but with the reset onto the map from Limboom, maybe they felt like they couldn't go for it just yet. Not quite sure. I would have liked to see them give the kill over to Pillars with the Dark Seal available on this Vladimir. But picking up the kill at all, definitely going to feel good. Keeps the gold right about even. And we'll see if there's more action around this Rift Herald as the game continues.
2-0 right now on just about only 200 gold lead mid lane. Really setting the pace in terms of CS here. Sand Soldiers is going to win that trade for Lin as well. Are we going to see the Shurima shuffle maybe? Flash is still down. Oh, Maokai is here though. Ult is available. Nature's Grasp is available, but is not going to use it.
Alright, just passing through on the way towards the bot side.
Uh-oh, Poling in the wave. Sauce Boss in trouble yet again. Amiki is going to be able to get that kill there. Bot lane doing what's needed. Sauce Boss, DC boss?
Well, hopefully we'll get the DC resolved quickly here, but for the time being, I think that we gotta credit Unicorns for having a stronger early game here than they have in the first two They're up 3-0 on the kills. They've got a slight gold advantage. We can see all of the champions and minions up close and personal. We can even see the health bars across the map. This is fantastic. What a cool look at the Rift. Thank you, Garth. But looking at the game itself, I think that Unicorns definitely are taking steps in the right direction. They've had a better start to Game 3 than Games 1 or 2.
Yeah, looking to see it's the bot lane, I guess, is the answer as of right now. This has been the cleanest that they have been this entire series. It's starting to look like your prediction may be right. I think we just got the reconnect, so you should be coming back pretty soon. Okay, and then yep, we're gonna get that weird stutter pause in between. We do see Blitzcrank kind of hanging out in the top Riverside mid. Recalling back is Pillars flashes back, but no ghost available. Let's see if that's where it's going to go once we start here.
Yeah, so a mid gank would be really nice. They've got a short window as Pillars is trying to recall here. And we're back onto the Rift. We'll see if there's going to be any hills coming through. Looks like Becky Reed is just walking towards the bot side though. Drake spawning in 25 seconds. We'll see if there's a contest to be had here.
And looking over for the CS there, Bobber does have a slight lead there. 7 headed over towards Viger, 20 for mid, and 10 for the bot lane for Unicorn. Amiki with the bubble. Viger gonna match the CC as well. Knockback coming in, Ignite. He's gonna be proc, but runs over to Lindblom, gets the hook, and is silent. There goes the advance, throws the wall up to keep himself alive. Lindblom gonna shuffle forward. Gonna flash going in, but there's the in, and that's gonna be the 2 for 0. 5-0, and they're headed towards the dragon.
Wow, this is exactly what Unicorns needed here. They're going to be able to push towards this Drake. They're going to be able to continue to expand their lead. They get a kill on Diversia. They're getting close to their first item break points. Leandri's going to be complete for Lindblom, so that's going to be a little bit better once they get back out onto the Rift. But this is exactly where Unicorns need to be. They need to continue to push their advantage, though.
Crossboss walking blindly there. He's gonna have to flash away. Gotta respect that Lucian damage for sure, man.
Yeah, fighting over the wards once again. It's been rough for Sauce Boss this game, not able to control the wards like game 1 or 2. But going to be able to survive at the very least. Now 1K is the gold advantage, first 2 Drakes as well. Did the Rift Herald get taken down yet? I think this is still the first Herald on the map, so
I think so as well.
Gonna be a little bit delayed on the first take there, but you can start to see the crit cloaks coming in for Bobbert as well, so gotta keep in mind that Gangplank as the game goes on is going to become a menace once again.
30 CS lead, definitely could do it. Essence Reaver in the pocket yet again, and I think that's really when we start to see the change in that lane. Essence Reaver being able to keep up and giving them the dangerous stream proc plus the on hit really makes a difference there. Ornn is on the rotate and does have the call available to make for the mid laner. Pillars looking juicy too. This may be the bait, or we may see the rotate onto the Ornn.
Yeah, once again contesting over this river area.
Oh, Becky Rita going in with the knockup. Feathers and Fur looking to continue and kind of re-escape. There goes the root. Knocked in. Hook is going. Becca Rita's not getting it though. Lindblom looking good right now with Bobbert. The CC though. There goes the Starima shuffle. He didn't fully completely get it. There goes the Soldier, and that's gonna be 2 onto the side of Bobbert. Bobbert the killer. Bobbert the pirate. He's trying to rob it and steal it. Check that bounty. He's got a triple kill.
This is happening again. Huey Bobbert is taking the game over. Now it's a far cry from an over game, but Crusaders back in the lead. Going to see the replay of this fight. Becky Rita going for this scuttle crab at the beginning. Tries to find the engage onto Feathers and Fur. Not able to find a lot of damage, though. Pillar's going to find a nice angle onto this fight. Gets a lot of healing at the beginning. But then Bobbert just goes untouched. They try to finish off
Cannon Barrage
Lindblom
helped a
here.
lot
A
there.
nice Emperor's Divide going to be able to set up the disengage. And on the back end of that, there's just no cooldowns left available for Pillars. And that means that Bobbert is able to just walk up and start slashing people with the swashbuckling scimitar.
That's what is needed to keep themselves alive and in the game. If anyone needed the lead, it is Bobber 3-0, almost a 30 CS lead, and now the lead, gold set, that advantage that Unicorns had is now gone.
Yeah, so now we see that it's going to be Bobbert topping out the gold chart, the CS per minute chart as well, doing over 10. We saw this in game 1 as well. It was almost 10 CS per minute at the end of the game, 324 on the Alawi, and now it's happening here on the Gangplank, doing a great job clearing out these waves, and going to have an opportunity to potentially carry Crusaders on towards the finals.
Yeah, I want to touch again. Looking at the vision for Unicorns, I think that's helping them really keep themselves afloat. I think that's really helping them get the setups that were needed to get to where they are. Missing a little bit on top side as Becky Rita does take Herald.
Yeah.
And as you check out, oh man, pushing forward, Encore not even going to be able to land. Berzia on a killing spree. This is getting a little scary, and I don't think that they are out yet.
Yeah, the Gale Force spike really nice for Versia, and despite the fact that the gold has swung back in the favor of Crusaders, I still think Unicorns are in a much better spot than they were in either of the first 2 games. They've got the first 2 Drakes. They can start looking to set up team fights around the remaining Drakes. It's a Cloud Soul, so maybe some people don't prefer this. I think Cloud Soul is really good for Lucian Nami particularly, but I do think that it lacks some of the impact that you can get if you have some more of the damage stats coming in. So we'll see if that's going to be enough to lure Crusaders into a fight.
Maybe so. Shelly will be summoned into the mid lane. A lot of damage. Rob, she is going to get the tackle, but the tower's going to live with 60 HP. So little, so close. I think this is going to be the first group fight that we fully get. Becky Rita on the front looking for the pick. Who does Becky want to try to hook here?
I think that Becky wants to find the hook onto Versia or Amiyanki. I think that those are the easiest targets to kill.
Oh! But Cannon Barrage is gonna land them. The Encore is barely gonna whip. The wave from Nami is gonna come in, mixed into Colin. But here comes the King with the shuffle. Samira is looking all S up, ready to go. And this is looking for the fight. I feel the Forge was too little, too late. And guns start up blazing for the Woven. But it gets slightly paused there through the action. The Unicorns are on the retreat. Becky Rita getting the hook over on Fetters and her. Flash is going to be popped back. The tower is only living there with about 5. Limbo pushing forward. And I think that is all we're going to get there as they start to rotate for the Dragon.
Yeah, such a close fight there. Becky Rita able to start it off with a good hook. But on the back end of the fight, Bobber ends up giving over. Oh my gosh!
Whoa, big damage there from Versio, but the tower is there. Pillar's trying to force the dive here. Is the King down? He is! The Bounty Hunter is here taking out Kings. Will he be able to take out the Pirate King next?
Versia is now 4-0-1 on the Lucian. This is the beacon of hope in this game for Unicorns. They've now lost their soul stacking, or at least delayed it another 5 or 6 minutes by giving up this Drake. But they still have a Fed Lucian, and whenever you have a Fed Lucian, you can look to set up plays really quickly, especially with the Gale Force being the opt here. Not a lot of tanks on the enemy team, so I think that makes a lot of sense. And now they're going to be in position with the Collector to start setting up even more kills.
Not a lot of tanks there. I see a Maokai and the Ornn there. I think this is a really good feel and setup there for them. You
That's
gotta
on
be
that's on
careful.
Lucian's team. That's the same
Oh,
team.
my fault, my fault. I was like, wait a minute. I was like, what? What? But with Lucian and Vlad there as well, I'm very worried. With not a lot of tank option being there for them. What is going to be the real call to kind of plug this Lucian up here?
I mean, a lot of the opportunity is if Bobbert can just blow him up at the beginning of a fight, or if you can get a good hook from Becky that sets up a CC chain. Those are the ways that you get onto Lucian, but it's a lot easier said than done. We even saw in that fight around the jungle,
Oh,
you
Becky
can get
Rita
the
trying
hook,
to
but
get
it
it,
might
gets the
not
knockup. There goes the Encore. This is shut down. There it is. Root coming in for Viger, trying to match with Becky Rita, but S's and Aces are going over for the bot lane, and that's going to be the pickup shutdown. You are a psychic. You are cursing the unicorns, my man.
I need to find a psychic way to help the unicorns. I picked them to win. But really well done there by Crusaders to pick up that kill. A good pick. Becky Rita making the most out of this Blitzcrank. We heard Becky wanting to play this champion all of this match. Not allowed to do so in the first two games, but really paying it off here in game 3.
I thought once that hook was missed, I thought Becky Rita was over there. Versia with the beautiful dash and the damages, but yeah, that turnaround really helping, and Samira surviving. All the kills falling on Sauce Boss. Woven is still clear to get big and really start snowballing themselves too. And with the 3 kills and now the 3 assists, Sauce Boss is pretty much back.
Yeah. Definitely not a position where Sauce Boss is feeling too bad about giving over some kills. I think that you just want to keep your Samira safe and allow the scaling to happen. Versia's definitely still in a better position on the Lucian, but Wolven Alchemist going to have some opportunities here.
Versia on a ward. I don't know if they know. The flash hook in. He doesn't know he's on the ward. Gets picked up. No! That is not what's needed, though.
Yeah. Gonna be another pick coming through from Becky Rita. Baron is up, so we'll see if they decide to go towards it. It's a Gnasher's Tooth Blitzcrank as well, so we got a lot of DPS coming out, but it's in the mid lane.
Woven going in here. Feathers is gonna make the call. Bobart is here for the assist. Big damage coming in from the barrels. Hook from the backline plus the encore. Ornn is just gonna continue forward. The 2-for-1 special as the unicorns are on the retreat. Cloud Soul helping them get that speed boost, and I think that may be enough for them to go themselves out of that hairy situation.
Yeah, I think that in retrospect, we all should have dressed up as pirates for Halloween, because there is definitely a pirate that is running this rift right now. Bobbert knew what the plan was. I still enjoy being dressed up as Tigger, but, you know, a pirate, always a classic option on Halloween, so Bobbert definitely looking strong here today. Got that 3-item spike, got the Infinity Edge complete. No Mythic even, just going straight towards these crit items.
I didn't even notice
gonna
that.
be in a really good spot, and with this Baron, they can look towards potentially setting up the base being broken and starting to get closer and closer to that finals appearance.
So those 2 picks on Versia, so unfortunate. The ward only had about 3 seconds left. They still are in the dragon seat for Soul first. Is this the call? Do you go for this Cloud? Do you give it up? Do you look for something else? I think we're going to find our answer here as Becky Rita goes for the pick there. Gets a hook, but is going to get the lead in before the team is able to get and able to trade there. They are on the hunt pushing forward, but it is a 5v1.
Yeah, Vagar pretty low here though. Not going to be quite so easy to start up the Drake with a low health jungler. Still could be contested 4v5 depending on how many ultimates that they know are on cooldown. It's just the culling that's on cooldown right now, so there's still a good fight.
I
for
don't think they're
Unicorns.
waiting for any. Flash spin is going to be used there. The call is going to be answered. Seraphine is going to be able to get it. Sauce Boss is going to flash back there. Bobber is here. Cannon Barrage is here. Wolven is pushing forward. Looking for the S. Pulls the trigger. Isn't forward, but gets CC'd. But there goes the screen to shuffle. Mixed with the Encore ×2. It is looking all great for the red side. And I think they're going to be able to pick up the dragon as well. Crusaders with the swing back and forth. But it looks like they're on the driver's seat now.
Yeah, good use of the respawn timers. Becky able to get right back out on the map to smite away that Drake. And the fight turned in favor of Crusaders. Now they're up 8,000 gold. This is the position that they've been so strong in the first 2 games. They've got the Baron buff for another minute. They're looking to do even more damage to these structures in addition to picking up the tower.
Oh man, Becky Rita! Where's Becky Rita coming from? Flash, but the bubble is there. Versia is going to touch the hook. This is going to be the chance to turn back in. But dual bangle blink and you miss it. He's gone. The front line is also gone as well. Becky Rita soaking up and proxying the line forward. There's no minions there for them to get the tier 2 just yet. But here comes Calvary. Oh my gosh. What is this Bobbert though?
Just doing so much damage with the barrel chains. As you said, if you just blink and then you're going to miss it, people disappearing off the map. The health bar is non-existent when it comes to a barrel chain, and the Dusk Blade is the completion going to be doing even more damage from here on out. Going to be close to that 6-item spike once again. Bobbert has just been such a standout performer this series. So good there. And the rest of the team of Crusaders hasn't been far behind. It's just been such a great series from them. They've only got a little further to get on towards that victory. Unicorns in desperation time now.
It was looking fantastic just a few moments ago. But just holding down and figuring out what's needed to get back on track. And honestly, I think the answer has always been relying here on Bobbert. There's never been a full call here for him. And honestly, what is the call here now?
Well, not really sure how you find the pick here. It's going to have to be another good engage. We saw around that 4th Drake that there was a nice little pick onto Becky at the beginning of the fight. But even when that went in favor of Unicorns, they still weren't able to convert that into an objective. They weren't able to get much off the back end of it. They tried to go back in for a play, but got punished 4v5, so it's just becoming a spot where it's harder and harder to find plays to make.
More powder. The destruction on this damage here is a little ridiculous here. The jungle is starting to be taken away here. 10k gold lead. That's where they say it gets very scary in the professional level. So let's see how they'll be able to handle it here. Vergia is going to take the only one wave there of the beat drop. This is scary. Becky Rita moving forward. Pillars are going to have to ghost and rocket away. I think that's a fair trade forward. The blitz is double.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's going to be a lot longer cooldowns to deal with, no doubt. But yeah, going to be able to survive for the time being. No flash burnt. And now just got to contest this 5-man push. No Baron.
Took Tiger in trouble. Sauce Boss is going to be able to pick it up. The Colling's going to land big damage there. But I think the dive may be coming. Pillars has the pool unavailable.
Yeah, just waiting for this next wave to come in. It'll get here in about 10 seconds. Gonna be Crusaders looking to break the base. Vagar feed not available.
The flash hook! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh, nice turn there! Is this gonna be the call the Unicorn was waiting for? Waiting for the feathers and fur. Not gonna see the R. They're so grouped right now. They're not gonna take it.
They're gonna go towards Baron. They have to get a quick reset off here for Crusaders, and the health bars are pretty much full. Unicorns could try this. Becky Rita 25 seconds away from respawning. It looks like they want to go towards the Drake instead, but I feel like with all 5 members available, and this is maybe one of the only windows they're going to get.
Check the TP though. Or excuse me, not even the TP, just the sustain and hold back bot. GP is still there with the call of seeing Bobbert there. They're gonna rotate over. They don't have any vision on it yet. They do now see it. The team is rotating over here. Limboom looking and taking the front. There goes the cannon barrage. Woven Alchemist, the wave is going to hit. The Horn is here, but he flashes towards it with the wind wall, taking out first engage. They have to leave here. Becky is pushing forward. There goes the trees, and you guys got it back. They can't even back right now. They're gonna start taking Baron as they have to be forced back. The Coaling is gonna be dropped. Pillars is gonna come in. Woven Alchemist is gonna take a 3K left on Baron. Gangplank pushing in. There is no towers left. Feathers and Fur is going to try to match it. Baron is going to get picked up over for the Crusaders. Horn is going to pick it up, but the triple kill is gonna be going to Samira.
Doesn't matter.
The TP is coming in. It has been an insane turn in events, and I think Azir is gonna try to finish it. Limboom with the Samira, or with the Samira shuffle. Feathers and Fur peeking away. I think he might be able to get it, but the ace is gonna be it, and that's game, ladies and gentlemen. 3-0, clean sweep.
Lindblom able to make the play happen on the narrowest of margins, and Crusaders able to come into this series, come in with a substitute, and the substitute comes in and be potentially the MVP. Bobbert playing this game out too strong, but Crusaders with a well. What is on your head, Thunder?
No, look, it's the bit. It's the bit. I'm lightning. Look, don't call me Thunder. I'm lightning. But that's not the point. That was an amazing finish for a 3-0 series. For this to have gotten so close, Lindblom, you couldn't see Lindblom's health. It wasn't there. There wasn't any left. Feathers and Fur almost all. It wouldn't have mattered at the end because the rest of the team was swarming in the base. But Feathers and Fur almost made that happen. But at the end of the day, congratulations to the Crusaders. A 3-0 victory over the Unicorns to make it to the grand finals. Tiger, you said it yourself. Bobbert, absolute MVP caliber performance. I mean, this might only be a 1 series sub, but holy,
Yeah.
that's a heck of a sub to have.
Get him there, man. Put him on the team. My guy
Yeah.
is crazy.
He is insane. But I mean, I will say for Unicorns, the game looked better. It seemed like they figured out what they were supposed to do. Just the Bobbert diff kind of, overwhelmed them still, but they kind of figured out, give Vergia, feed Vergia, but then Vergia started feeding a little bit.
Yeah, it was a good effort.
Was
They,
insane.
yeah, they did
So
their
crazy.
best. And I definitely think that Unicorns should be commended for their efforts in this split. I hope that the players come back and keep performing in the VAD. But definitely we're outmatched today. Crusaders just playing this series out fantastically. And we talked about some momentum. I think that going into the finals now, it's going to be Crusaders who will have a lot of momentum on their side. I've overheard that it looked like Vipers were potentially going to go up 2-1 on Astronauts as well. So I'd like to hear more about what's going on in that series, but should be pretty exciting to see what goes down in the finals.
Yeah, we will, and I'll mention that in just a second. But make sure, hey everybody in the Twitch chat, go and vote for the MVP for that series. We'll try not to sway you too much. I think the players' gameplay probably spoke for itself. But speaking of, so we do have a kind of Victoris, I don't know, tertiary, quadruciary stream or whatever, running by the one and only B-Pots, covering the Astronauts and Vipers game. Vipers were actually solidly ahead in game number 3. They were tied 1-1. Astronauts were actually able to bring it back. So Astronauts now sitting at 2-1. We can go ahead and bring up, yeah, right here we see Astronauts sitting at 2-1. So Vipers were able to get one game off Huey, but they're heading into game number 4 right now. Draft is already completed, and we actually have another Samira pickup, and this is actually for Vipers. So we saw the Samira in the game for Crusaders. They ended up winning. How do we feel about that Samira pick?
Dude, I love Samira pick. I want to go back to that replay. That flash towards the boards of the Call the Iron God there. Oh my gosh, set the pace there. Amazing. That was so sick, dude.
So it was phenomenal gameplay. We might see that again. I'm sure we'll probably go and raid them while they are getting into that game number 4. But I mean, for Crusaders, we continue to get some more surprises out of Group B, but I mean, Crusaders making it to finals probably is the least surprising thing that we could have had. But I think I will say, Unicorns, getting 3-0'd in that fashion, not something that I think too many expected. But I think that just goes to show now the strength of Crusaders coming into this finals. That said, maybe Crusaders just have Unicorns number, just a bad matchup stylistically, but Crusaders have shown that they are very, very strong. So, but the thing is, Huey or Tiger, we'll come to Huey first about this. Crusaders have to fight a matchup against either Vipers or Astronauts. Those are two of the teams that actually. Whoop. Oh God. Okay. Well, my lightning is falling. That said, Crusaders and Vipers are both teams that performed pretty well against Astronauts. Astronauts performed very well against both Vipers and Crusaders. So, of the Vipers and the Crusaders, one of my lightning, I'm falling apart here. Of the Vipers and Crusaders, who do we think? Or I'm sorry, of the Vipers and Astronauts, who do we think Crusaders will take on? Who would Crusaders like to take on more? They beat Astronauts. They ended up losing to Vipers in the last round robin. Like, Tiger, who are we looking at that Crusaders are keeping their eye on as a potential juicy target?
Well, I think that Crusaders should be ready to take on anyone if they want to win the championship. I've always been a big believer that any team that hopes to win a championship should be ready to beat whoever they come up against. I think that Vipers have a little bit more obvious things that they can be taken advantage of on than Astronauts, but I think whoever comes is going to be a tough challenge. And I would really love to see Astronauts versus Crusaders, our top regular season teams, go head to head in the finals. But I'll be happy for Vipers too if they can make it.
Yeah, it will. I honestly, it would be a heck of a story for Vipers to go from, again, we've beaten this one into the ground a little bit, but it would be a heck of a story for Vipers to go from, people looking at them as probably the worst team in the VAD in the first 2 weeks, to be able to come back, make it to grand finals, potentially win against the top seed Crusaders, who were looked at as probably the best team in VAD in those same 2 weeks. So that will be something interesting to look out for. But Huey, we'll come to you about this. I don't believe Bobbert will be, we'll have to see if Bobbert is in for the finals, but Bobbert was indeed the sub. Lindblom had shifted to the mid lane as their usual top laner. Lindblom still had a pop-off series, and Astronauts and Vipers both have pretty strong top laners themselves. So I think, again, we'll probably get a pretty top-side focused matchup next week, all things considered. So what do we look like? Do we think that that's going to have more explosive games? Do we think Vipers and Astronauts can kind of match this split push prowess that we know Crusaders have? Or are we going to get more team fighting, more scrapping? Are these going to be explosive, exciting games?
It is be finals. Almost how always how it goes. It gets very explosive once there gets a slight lead ahead in terms of games won. Then it slows down a bit.
Right.
I think Vipers does have a chance to maybe pull this out and maybe get to finals. That would be the awesome story. Astronauts have been winning all season, though. They do have the lead now. I think we're going to be seeing Astronauts Crusaders, and if Crusaders continue playing the way they do, they definitely can make themselves on top with or without Bobbert.
Indeed, indeed. Well, our MVP poll is wrapping up right now. Sometimes what I will do is I will ask, my analysts who your MVP is. I think we're all pretty unanimous on that, so I won't ask. I won't spoil too much. But what I do want to ask was, at least from tonight, what was the most, what was the thing that sticks in your mind the most? What was your most exciting play of the night that really just kind of encapsulates what we had here tonight? And Huey, I'll go ahead and start with you on this one.
That last Baron play to seal it, honestly, through Samira, using the wind wall, flashing onto the Forge. I don't think I've ever seen that happen. I didn't even know it interacted like that, and having the knowledge and able to do it, it's awesome, dude. I think that was really it right there. Plus the split, showing the split and the objective control of the team grabbing the objective while Gangplank splitting into the base. It just really shows Crusaders' full power there.
Indeed. And Tiger, for you.
Yeah, the play that really stood out to me was in Game 3, we had a 5-0 start for the Unicorns. They were off. It seemed like they were going to start making the comeback, but we have a big play in the topside river. Bobbert ends up coming away with a triple kill in the 3v3. That's what really kind of sealed it for me, that Crusaders, they were ready to take the next step. They were ready to make it on towards the finals. And Bobbert cementing himself as the MVP of this series, I feel like.
Indeed. And I mean, we have that MVP screen ready. Let's see. Again, it is a surprise to absolutely nobody. Your MVP for the series coming in, subbing Bobbert, an absolutely phenomenal performance. 25-8 for the KDA. This was explosive to say the least. 91,000 damage in just over 90 minutes of gameplay. On the GP, the Pirate King himself, Bobbert was the absolute king of the top lane and the Rift. Honestly, again, I said at the start, this was not Bobbert coming in and substituting on the Crusaders and the Unicorns Rift. This was the Crusaders and Unicorns stepping onto his Rift and saying, may we play here? And he said, sure, but only if we win. Absolute domination. There was no parlaying. There was no talking. It was clean and it was efficient. So congratulations to Bobbert on winning MVP. Congratulations to Crusaders once again on the 3-0. Unfortunately, Unicorns, we will have to say goodbye for now. But of course, there will be more VAD in the future. And of course, there's more Victoris content. But I will say, we're getting to bed rather early tonight, boys. It may be time for you to do some trick-or-treating still. If we're, are we allowed to do that? Is that like legal for us now, or are we too old to like trick-or-treat?
Too old.
We're too old?
Never. Always go get candy.
Always go get candy. I'm sure there's probably some scraps and leftovers left. But, Tiger, any final words before we sign off for the night?
Yeah, I definitely appreciate these teams. And I also appreciate your costumes. I love all of the lightning energies. That made me laugh, Thunder. And Huey,
you keep calling me Thunder. That's not correct. I'm lightning.
I love the mask from Huey as well. Got the Akatsuki robe. And Gurf, we saw him for a moment. He's got the Tanjiro costume. He's got some great earrings going on. And always fun to cast here at Victoris. Both of these teams played well today, and Crusaders a well-earned victory. Can't wait to see if they can come out on top in the finals.
Indeed. And Huey, once again, our final words for the night.
Fantastic matches there. I did not expect to see the 3-0. I was really seeing at 3-1. It is a little unfortunate, but Unicorns really coming out and really trying their best. And I think you can't even ask for any better except winning, honestly. And really good job to the Crusaders being able to lock it down and get themselves in the finals. I cannot wait to see how it unfolds coming up next week.
Indeed, indeed. And Gurf, I know you have your cam. Is your mic working? Would you like to say any words on the? Oh, never mind. It's not on. You can see his lips moving down there, but he's screaming. We have him trapped. But thank you all for coming out and watching, especially on this Halloween evening. Thank you, Huey and Tigger, for your wonderful costumes as well as the wonderful casting, bringing us some phenomenal moments. Thank you to the teams for playing. And until next time, I have been Lightning. Gurf, our wonderful producer, has been making everything happen behind the scenes, by the way. As we already said, you can see him down there just checking in. Until next time, everybody, be safe, be smart, make wise decisions. Grand finals next week, and farewell.
Battle of the Titans here. Becky Rita just going in for the punches. Viger out, winning and set the pace. The horn has been called. Becky Rita in trouble. Pillars Monica with the bubble. Viger gonna match the CC as well. Knockback coming in, Ignite. He's gonna be propped, but runs over to Limbo, gets the hook, and is silent. There goes the advance, throws the wall up to keep himself alive. Limbo gonna shuffle forward. Gonna flash going in, but there's the
Once again, contesting over this river area.
Oh, Becky Rita going in with the knockup. Feathers and Fur looking to continue kind of re-escape. There goes the root. Knocked in. Hook is going. Becky Rita's not getting it though. Limbo looking good right now with Bobber. The CC though. There goes the Starima double. He didn't fully completely get it. It goes the Boulder. And that's going to be two onto the side of Bobber. Bobber the killer. Bobber the pirate, he's trying to rob it and steal it. Check the cannon barrage is gonna land up. Alex for the encore is barely gonna win. The wave from Nami is gonna come in next in the colon. But here comes the king with the shovel. Samira is looking all essed up, ready to go. And this is looking for the fight. I feel the forge was too late. And guns start up blazing for the Woven, but it gets slightly paused there due to the action. And the unicorns are on the retreat. Becky Rita getting the hook over on Federson. Her flash is going to be popped back. The tower is only living there with about...
Started off with a good hook, but in the back end of the fight, Bobber ends up giving over the... Oh my god!
Oh, big damage there for Versio, but the tower is there. Pillar's trying to force the dive here. Is the king...
Those are the ways that you get onto but it's a lot easier said than done. We even saw in that fight around the jungle.
Becky Rita trying to get against the outcome. There goes the encore. Just put down. There it is. Root coming in for Viger, trying to match with Becky Rita, but S's and Aces are going over for the block.
Got a lot of PTSD now, but the mid-range.
Woven going in here. Feathers is going to make the call. Bobart is here for the assist. Big damage coming in from the barrel. Hook from the back line plus the encore. Warren is just going to walk continue forward.
Just the towing that's on cooldown right now. So there's still
I don't think they're waiting for any. Flash spin is going to be used there. The call is going to be answered. Seraphine is going to be able to get it. Sauce Boss is going to flash back there. Bobber is here. Cannon Barrage is here. Woven is pushing forward. Looking for the edge. Close the trigger. Is it forward but gets seized in? But there goes the stream to shuffle. Mixed with the encore times two. It is looking all great for the... But the bubble is there. Persia is going to touch the hook. This is going to be the chance to turn back in. But no bagel blink and you miss it. He's gone with the wind wall. Taking out first engage. They have to leave here. Becky is pushing forward. There goes
up back. Robert's gonna end.
They can't even back right now. They're gonna start taking Baron as they have to be forced back. The polling is gonna be dropped. Pillars is gonna come in. Woven Alchemist is gonna take a free chain left on Baron. Gameplay pushing in. There is no towers left. Feathers and Fur is going to try to match it. Baron is going to get picked up over for the Crusader. It has been an insane turn of events, and I think Azir is going to try to finish it. Limboom with the Samira, or with the Samira shuffle. Feathers and Fur peeking away. I think he might be able to get it, but the ace is going to be it, and that's game, ladies and gentlemen. 3 says Battle of the Titans here. Becky Rita just going in for the punches. Viger out, winning and setting the pace. The horn has been called. Becky Rita in trouble. Pillars come. Aniki with the bubble. Viger gonna match the CC as well. Knockback coming in, Ignite. He's gonna be propped, but runs over to